They stopped now.
They did stop. Okay.
They're out there. You can hear them.
They're out there somewhere.
I can tell, by the way, that every once in a while they start yelling. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We got a Hall of Famer in the house. The OG of guests. Shawn and I have been doing podcasts together forever, but then we realized we really hadn't done one in a long time. We've been just like making our own pieces of content, dividing and conquering, and then we're like, holy shit, it's January. It's that time we're supposed to remind everybody that now is when you're supposed to start recruiting. And frankly, you should have already started a couple weeks ago, but now's as good of a time as any, better than tomorrow. Tomorrow will be fine too, but that'll be better than the next day, which is, better than the next day. What's up, Shawn? Back from the park board meeting.
Parks and Rec, baby. Parks and Rec. Yeah. What's going on? I mean, we're just getting pumped up for 2026. Just got back from a park board meeting. Talked to pickleball courts and money and how to get more of it and all that good stuff. And
pickleball courts and money.
And we're getting pretty damn busy on the HireLeadChill side of things.
It's exciting though. Like did you hear my kids that time? There's not like it's bedtime and who knows what's happening out there.
Is Marty around or are they just free falling, man?
I assume Marty's out there. She was.
She's in town though, right? Is she in town?
She may have given up. We'll see. I'm gonna do one thing here before I get distracted, which is
best damn bookkeeping group or like page.
It's the Best Damn Bookkeeping Facebook page. So if you're out there listening, you might jump into like my personal feed or Shawn's personal feed or whatever. Get to the business pages, because then when you comment there, I can put it on the screen and we can like BS with you and interact with you. And we got a ton of cool stuff to go over. And so we want your comments, we want your stories, and we want your feedback. If you end up on my personal page, which I see there's 2 people out there right now that are hanging out there, I posted the link to get over to the business page and I'm pinning it in there. So it'll be in my personal feed at the top. Click on that, get out of my personal feed, get over to the Best Damn Bookkeeping feed. That way, when you say a smart ass comment, I can put it up on the screen and we can, have a good time together. Shawn, it feels like forever since we've done this. Forever.
Yeah, man, it has. It has been a long time. We got a history, man. I don't know if everybody knows how we met or anything like that, or what the hell we're, I think bits and pieces and dudes that are pretty tight with us. Yeah. But I don't know that it's been 9 years or something like that. Well before COVID. I know that. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it's going on 10 because 2016 was when I joined Blue Skies. Like I was there, but in the background, and I bet, well, we would have bought your company in late 2015, right?
Yeah, the paperwork was pretty much signed October of 15. And then I think it was kind of like, okay, let's go after it January 1.
Yeah. So, and I was involved. I wasn't there day to day, but like I was still interacting with you. We just didn't get to work together like day to day, but we're pretty much 10 years. 10 years of balling. Darlene, as I like to read.
Oh, yeah.
Shire Schmidt is how somebody would say that if they were just being a smart ass, because I always like to give Darlene a hard time about her name. Tyson is in the house. Or Thiessen. Or Thyson. Missed you, Darlene. Thanks for checking in. But we got a shitload of stuff to go over, Shawn. It's like go time. I was talking about this on the radio show today. You know me in the fall. I love me the fall. Like deer hunting and the cold weather's coming, and bookkeeping is kind of slow in the fall. People, especially in the service industry, they're not generally signing up for bookkeeping. Like our leads are probably half of what they are in the spring, and I love it because I want to go deer hunting and stuff. And I don't want to get a mess, like a steaming pile of bookkeeping shit right before year end, because then they're all stressed out. Like, oh my God, I need my stuff fixed. I got to get my taxes done. The minute you get after New Year, and this year's surprisingly, I feel like demand has been lower. Like when I work with all of our clients, I feel like demand has been a little bit lower for most of our clients in the home service industry, which usually like means my demand would be a little slower. this January has just been bonkers. I think I got 4 more demos that like hit my schedule today, just out of like thin air, just pow. And it's just like people want to make shit happen this year. I feel like more than what I've seen in the past. I think, and this is just entrepreneurs. Last year was a little bit slow for a lot of people, and entrepreneurs take that and they're not like, ho hum. They're like, no, F that. Like, we're going to make some changes. We're going to like double down on this. We're going to go hard at that. And I know what I want to change. And like the go-getters get going, which I think we'll talk about how applicants do the same thing here in January. But it's been exciting to hear. And I know every time I check in with you, we ever once a week's like, I think you're seeing the same thing. But man, it's as much work as it is to like fire up and like really put the gas pedal down. Holy shit, it's exciting. It's a bigger
I know we talk about a lot typically happens with a new president from whatever party. It doesn't matter. I'm not talking the politics part of it, but when we get a new administration that comes in, it seems like that year is like everybody's like, okay, let's see what's going to happen here. We don't know what's going on. So like the big players that trickle down to all of us are kind of on standby until they get things figured out. We've got a president that got shot. That holds up a bunch of stuff, right? Things just kind of pause. And again, not politics. That's just the human. That's what happens in this country, and it happened. Both of those things happened. Interest rates were a little bit goofy. We weren't sure what was going on with that and what was going on with money and things. AI was literally, front and center. That's like totally. What are we doing with it though? And all those things combined, it was a weird year in that regard.
And just the uncertainty. Like, I think there's the election year uncertainty. And like you said, people just kind of like are waiting to know who's going to be the president. And then they're kind of waiting to see what happens. And Trump kind of took that and like, again, not for Trump, not against Trump, but Trump took that and did what I think Trump supporters really like, which is he did what he said he was going to do. I think, especially like watching ICE stuff, like I'm in Minneapolis, I think a lot of people that voted for him didn't realize the way he was going to do it. And I think that's like what you get with Trump, right? It's like, no, he does exactly what he said he's going to do. You might not like the way he goes about it, right? You might be like, yeah, I want illegal immigrants out of here because they're, because of the criminals and the drugs and whatever. And then he just Trump takes everything to 10. And like everybody that may or may not be an immigrant be on standby, right? Like, it's what you voted for, but like he just goes hard at it, and that creates uncertainty too. And I think that was what we saw over the last year is like, hey, we're going to do tariffs to try to like not be treated unfairly by the rest of the world. And everybody's like, yeah, we should do tariffs so that we don't get treated unfairly by the rest of the world. And then Trump does tariffs Trump style, which like puts the whole world on blast and is basically like, F you, I'm going to double down. I'm going to triple down. I'm going to show you that we are the boss. And everybody's like, oh, he's more aggressive than I thought he was going to be. Like,
everybody's like, yeah, good, 10% tariffs. He's like at 150%, 80%. Like, wow.
Oh, you thought that was bluffing? But and like whether you like it or not, or like it has its ripple effects, right? But the uncertainty is what consumers, like the people who our clients are working for, the homeowners are like, maybe I don't want to spend this money because I don't really know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know how these tariffs are going to shake out. I don't know how the immigrant stuff is going to shake out. I don't know what to make of it. And when we don't know what to make of it, our immediate reaction is I'll hold off on doing the thing.
Government shutdown. You had that. You had all kinds of things. I mean, you had the situation where because of the shutdown, in part, we weren't sure if the tax credits or the tax bill was going to go forward or not. So there was a lot of financial uncertainty and unrest a little bit too. In the country, and when that happens, when uncertainty happens, people are paralyzed. We don't make a lot of moves. We certainly don't get super aggressive. But I'll tell you what I'm feeling for 2026. To your point, is I honestly think that, and I never really try to over exaggerate when it comes to that type of stuff. I try to get the data, and I try to, there's probably no doubt that Trump is going to get somebody that's going to lower interest rates. I mean, that's just what he's probably going to do because he says he's going to do it. And who the hell knows who's the hell's going to come in and if he's going to last more than 6 months. But the interest rates are going to go down almost certainly. With that though, I'm looking at stuff just like the stock market's up, but there's a lot less uncertainty. We know what we've got. The only thing I'm a little nervous about is we haven't had any type of crazy terrorist, crazy stuff happening in a long time. I'm a little bit concerned about that, but that's unknown. That can happen any year, right? So that's not anything to be, but I really think everything is set up, the labor market, the economy, to be an absolutely huge economic year for small businesses, especially.
Yeah. I think that's probably what we're seeing, where it's like small business owners are feeling it as well, where it's like, it's time to position, it's time to be active. I'm curious if you've seen this. You have been talking for years and years about, hey, you got to recruit in January. Hey, you got to recruit in January. And I mean, this goes back to like 2018. You were telling people that, like, hey, we have data. It says January is the best market, and it gets worse and worse after that. And it's, I mean, like, this is going on 8 years of telling people that the data says this, the data says this. And this is the first year I feel like I'm seeing other people talking about it, and other people saying like, hey, it's kind of like when we started saying ABCs, and then all of a sudden other people started saying it. They would even say it wrong. They didn't really know what they were quoting. But it cracked me up because all of a sudden it started like making its rounds, right? Like, I don't know where it came from, but started making its rounds. And like, you've been bashing that in our head forever. You got to start in January. One thing you've added though, and I like this, and I say this a lot now, which is recruiting and hiring are different. And that is a newer like nuance to it that you've pointed out to all of us, that recruiting and hiring are different. There's a reason why they're different words, and they mean different things, and they don't have to happen together. And that's really powerful. So give us take us through that journey of why should somebody start recruiting in January? And if they do, like, what do you do with all these applicants? Because you can't really hire them until March or April. Like, you don't have the work to use to train them. So how the hell do you manage that disconnect? How do you coach your clients through that?
So the one thing I'll preface it with is it's astonishing to me throughout the years, and every turn that I've ever made underscores it even more, is that recruiting and sales are identical. So if that's true, and I know it is, I just know it is from doing this for a while now, if it's the same, when do you tell potential people on the street or coming to you that are potential clients, please don't call me right now because we don't start until spring. Don't bother me right now. You build a relationship with them. If they're calling you in January, you don't tell them to go away.
Hey, this is a property manager. I got like a $50,000 project I'm looking to get bids on. Sorry, Mr. Property Manager. It's January. We don't really start cleaning this stuff till March. So we'll get back to you in March.
We're
not right now.
We're close, right? Same thing, man. It's recruiting is relationship. Think recruiting relationship. That's what you're doing. You're just building relationships with people in your neighborhood, man. It's like if you're going around talking about your business like you should be talking about the employee side of your business. Why do we only talk about what we do on the demand side of it? What do we do? Why is it a great place to work? That to me is a more interesting story than, we pressure wash and we're got this many trucks on the road. It'd be really cool to hear why people love waking up in the morning and love to come to work for you. I think that's a great story to tell in the neighborhood. So recruiting is more about relationship building. With that said, January is the best time of the month to recruit. And I'm going to add a little bit to this, employees, to recruit employees. Okay. That's huge. And so what happens in January is a couple things that make the market more fluid and make more players going after building relationships and actually applying for jobs. Number one is the Christmas bills are coming in. Okay. So those are coming in the mail from Christmas and holidays. We spend a ton of dough in December. Those credit card bills are coming in. That starts to wake us up a little bit when you're a blue collar worker. When January 1st rolls around, typically what do? We're going to lose weight. We're going to eat better. Our finances are going to get better. Our career is going to get better. I'm not going back to that shitty job. We make these promises. They're called resolutions. That's what we do. Okay. That's why it's a little bit more fluid. it's a new year and people have this new sort of rebirth of what they're going to do with their life. And when you are a person that we want to hire, which is a good judgment, proactive, I'm going to actually think things through. I'm going to really apply myself. I'm going to try to secure a job in January and not have to wait till the last minute in spring. I'm at least going to start to look and maybe apply to a couple places and be thoughtful about it. That's exactly the traits that we want to hire in employees. What are the C employees doing? They're still watching Netflix every night. They're still out partying every night. They're still throwing the credit card bills to the side and paying. They don't care about that stuff. So what happens is those two things, and I'll add one more, your competition is asleep. Your competition is asleep right now. There's less demand for A employees in January. And that's a formula for success. If you start to recruit in January, you'll have more A players than you will in the spring or the end of February. You're going to have less of your competition going after that labor market, which is A labor. If you have more A people and less demand, it's going to cost you less to get A players in January. It's that simple. I mean, it's a simple Econ 101 formula, man. I was on Jason Guyman's live on Sunday night, and he gets a lot of people showing up to his stuff. And there was one or two people that said, I know that's true because I've heard this before from you. And I've got applications. I got people coming in. And he goes, and 2 years ago, I got burned because I waited and I waited and I waited. I'm never doing that again.
It's like, it's a slope. Like when, and this is a reference I've probably used 1,000 times. Like when people started paying somebody else to change their oil. Right, like everybody changed their own oil. There's no place to go that would do it. It wasn't a service you would ever think about using. And then eventually, like somebody's like, "Wait, you can pay somebody." Kind of reminds me of Holiday Light hanging out. It's like I don't know any household that hangs their own holiday lights anymore because it was a slope. And all of a sudden, like, why would you ever hang your own holiday lights? You can pay somebody else to go crawl around and do that stuff. They'll do it for $1,000, no brainer. And so it feels like one of those things. Like nobody used to recruit in January. And then it works so well, right? Like at some point, maybe it doesn't work as well because the market floods it. But there's another dynamic that I thought of. I've never thought of this. So I'm like dropping this on you right now. It kind of intertwines with everything you've talked about. But when I do my reverse interviews, and we'll get into the group interview structure and how I like to do that and how you've seen other people do it. When I do my reverse interview, I tell people right up front, like, I do not have a job for you today. Actually, I make a really bad joke. It's the same joke every time, but they don't know that I told it on the last interview. I say, I'm going to disappoint you immediately, just like I do to my wife in my marriage, which is I'm going to tell you I don't have a job for you today. And we're not doing this interview because I'm trying to find somebody to work for me right now. We're doing this interview because I want you to know what I'm all about. I want to try to figure out what you're all about, so that we can both be certain that when you come work here, it's the last damn job you're ever going to have. It might not actually be. It might propel you to something even greater. But for both of our sakes, we need to be like certain that this is the right place for you. And so I'm not going to dumpster hire you right now because I need somebody. And frankly, you shouldn't dumpster apply because you need a job right now. If you are reactive and you're applying because you need a job right now, you're going to choose a job that's not a great fit. You're going to choose the first job that comes along that's good enough, which means you're not going to stay there very long. So I don't want you to come work for me right now, because what if you dumpster enroll? What if you are just taking this job because you need something right now and it's not actually a good long-term fit? You just needed a job and a paycheck. I don't want somebody that needs it. I want somebody that fucking wants it, that really wants to be here. And I'm not going to hire people for the same reason. I'm not going to hire people out of desperation of, oh shoot, I have this work on the schedule, I need somebody. Because all that happens when you recruit to hire instead of recruit to build relationships and build a list of who you're going to call first. When you recruit to hire, and we all have done this, and we all will at some point continue to do this, so don't feel bad. But when you recruit to hire immediately, you always hire people that are good enough. They're always just good enough. They're never fucking great.
Right.
And we all deserve great employees. We need great employees. Our business is only as good. Darlene, I see you in my personal chat again. You're supposed to be in the business chat. But the detriment of hiring somebody that's good enough isn't just that you're probably going to turn them over. Like you might get one right, but you're probably going to turn them over. They're probably going to be cancerous to some extent. They're probably going to cost you a really good employee because you just hired somebody that's a B or C player, and your A player is like, why is Shawn hiring this guy? Why is Dan hiring this guy? He sucks. And it causes your other employees to underperform because they're like, well, why would I work as hard as I do? This guy made it. He's still here. And so like it drags your whole culture down. Your business is only as good as your worst employee. And so you got to avoid hiring people that are good enough. And you will always hire people that are good enough if you recruit to hire, because then you're just going to pick the first person that comes along and you're like, I can make this work. Darlene's apologizing. It's all right. It's not a bad thing.
We love you, darling. Don't worry.
I see your comment. I just want to put it up on the screen. Like Joe, Ed Aarons. So here's what I don't get, Darlene, is you were over here. I know you were here because here I can put you on the screen. But now there's comments over there. I don't know how you got over there. You were here. Now you're there.
Hey, man, little wine.
What's up, Ed? Joe Devin, no, in the house. So here's what I found is really good employers, which I think we are one of them. Like, I think we do a really good job picking the right people and firing fast because I have a list. Like, I don't need to put up with a bad behavior. I've got a ton of awesome people waiting in line to come work here. And if you're an employee, isn't that where you'd want to work? Where you can be guaranteed you're never going to have a shitty coworker, that when you get in there, you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to work really hard. You're going to create awesome results and help a lot of people. That's where I'd want to work. Right. And you were talking, and this it took me a while to get to this point, but you were talking about your A players and how they're proactive. They're doing what a good employer would do, which is they're out there building relationships. They are not going and applying for jobs in January thinking, man, I got to apply for a job. I need a new job right away. They're employed somewhere. They have a job. Yep. They're putting the feelers out. They're being proactive. They're not waiting until, oh shit, emergency, I'm going to go dumpster and roll somewhere and try to get a paycheck somewhere else. That's what the B and C players do. They wait until they need a job, and then they go pick the first job that's good enough. Your A players start in January. They might not take a job until May, but they're building relationships and finding the right job. Like, that's what the A players are doing that are applicants, and then flip it around and look in the mirror.
Yep.
Like, that's what you need to be doing too. That's what your A player employees are doing. If you want to be an A player employer, which is your like duty to yourself, to your team, to your business, to your future employees, to your business partners, to whoever, like to your family, because your family is ultimately the one that suffers when you're miserable running your business. You got to be proactive. You can't be dumpster hiring people. And you got to be building those relationships with A players in January. It doesn't mean you need to hire them in January. Can I tell the story about what just happened to me in January? Because I feel like it's pretty fitting. So this is like between Christmas and New Year's. I got the old text from like our number 2 account manager. She was just starting to take on some metric responsibility and potentially some like managerial responsibility. Very, very like disciplined, really good at communicating, really consistent performer. And I got a text from her like over the holidays. I'm up ice fishing with my family, and I got the text that said, "Hey Dan, do you have a few minutes to talk?" And I was like, this either means she needs help with something, but that usually she'd approach it differently. So this feels like hey, I'm about to leave and go find a new job. And that stresses us out, right? And Shawn, you've talked about that 1,000 times. Like, if that's a customer, my heart rate doesn't go up a bit. If a customer is not happy with what we're doing, it's like, okay, we're not a good fit. See ya. Right? Like, I'm very confident in the service we perform. There's always room for improvement, but if we're not the right fit for a customer, I lose zero sleep over it. When we're not the right fit for a really good employee, I'm stressed. Like, it ruined my day. I like knew what was coming. I got a hold of her later. She's like, hey, I had a really good opportunity come up that I can't really pass up. It's a part-time thing, but it pays really well for women-owned businesses. And it's a women-owned business that supports other women-owned businesses. It's more of a finance role. And it's just a super cool opportunity. And my husband and I have our pool cleaning business, and I want to have the time to help him with that. And so it's the perfect setup. I'm like, shit, I can't argue with that. Like, you have to go do that, you know, and we always, like, as a leader, it's our responsibility to get people sometimes out of our business, to like enable them to go do new stuff. And I don't know if Katya would have taken this role, but in our account manager role, like, they have to be finance people. They have to do analysis. And so, like, hopefully some of the stuff that we were able to help her develop allowed her to go do that and pursue cool stuff. Hopefully someday we get her back, for the love of God, Katya. Doors are always open. Doors are always open. And so, like, for a day, I was like, oh God, we're going into our busy season and we're losing like one of our studs. And then I remembered I use HireLeadChill, and I have 10 people. I have dozens of people, but I have like 10 that I would call tomorrow and say, hey, we're ready for you. And I picked my top 4, and I already had one that was going to be starting in January. So I messaged him, and I messaged the next 3 that I kind of had on deck and said, hey, opportunities are opening up. We're going to need some people in January. Let me know what your availability looks like, if you're still interested, what your timing looks like, and so on and so forth. And let me frame this up. All 4 of these people that were like the top of my list interviewed over a year ago. Like a year and a half ago was when I did my second round of interviewing at Best Damn Bookkeeping, and just built the list. When the like the labor market was right, built the list. Didn't need anybody at the time. Stayed in touch with them over and over and over again. Thank God for Nikki. And so, like, I reached out, and within 2 days, I had 2 people starting. I mean, like, before New Year's, I had 2 people starting in mid-January. One that she had taken a job in November and wanted to see that through, but was like, I'm coming, you know, like, we both agreed someday you will work here. Like, it's going to happen, but see through your current opportunity, right? And another guy that was just like waiting for me to tell him, yeah, it's time, and he'll put in his 2-week notice. Well, one of the 2 that I brought on already decided it wasn't a good fit for him, and that was fine. We knew it was kind of a shot. But now the guy that just said, hey, let me know when I need to put in my 2 weeks, he starts in like another week and a half. And so I do, and actually Nikki today, and I'll put our ad up so people can see like how we frame up an ad. I have people on my list still, but that's not good enough. I need to have my list be stacked. I need to know that, like, I like the people that are on my list, but are they the best out there? I don't know. I got to go talk to more people, because I need to make sure that when I put those, like, hey, we need somebody, the people I'm messaging have to be off the charts good. Because if they are my worst employee, they have to be amazing. My worst employee has to be amazing, because they might work on your stuff, Shawn. They might work on your stuff, Teresa. Teresa McConnell's in the house. They might work on your stuff, Darlene, even though I can't put you on the screen because you're still in my personal chat instead of the business chat. Like, somebody, my friends, right? Like, people that I care about are going to get my worst employee. So my worst employee better be really freaking good. So Nikki's running ads for me right now. We're doing reverse interviews Tuesdays and Thursdays until... And kind of my rule, and I've talked about this before. I don't know if we need to get this many right now, but like, I kind of shoot for 500 applicants. We're not going to interview that many, but 500 will whittle down to 100 by the time they get to me, because you guys do all the work. And that's 10 group interviews for me. I do mine digitally, so I like limit them to 10 because I need to watch everybody and see what they're doing. And we'll have a pile of awesome people. And then when we keep growing, and when
what's the revenue that for you at Best Damn Bookkeeping? What's the revenue that's being managed by an account manager on average? Of course, it's goofy because you got some part-time people though too, right?
We don't have anybody part-time, but every combo of bookkeeper and account manager, I want them to produce $15,000 a month. That's the threshold where they start hitting bonus territory. Now, like, it's a book of business, right? They can't just come in and start producing, because we're not doing one-off jobs. We're doing recurring clients. And so it takes me a while to like build them a book of business, because I want them to onboard their clients that they're going to have. And so it kind of goes at the pace of their learning to build their book of business, and they get really efficient. My super efficient people can produce up to $20,000 a month. So pushing $250,000 a year. My goal is to get everybody at least $15,000 a month. So in that 150, 175,000 a year of revenue.
Yeah. So everything you just said for best damn bookkeeping can translate into ABC pressure washing, XYZ window cleaning, Shawn's maid service. I mean, you're talking landscape lighting. That's, maybe a couple $100,000 that's produced by one person. So that type of proactivity that you're talking about is allowing you or preventing you from leaving a lot of money on the table because you're being so proactive versus reactive. That's the thing that really jabs me the most when I can't. I guess that's why I'm so passionate about relaying this story on how to be so proactive and strategic like you are in marketing and all the other stuff you do. It's so much more important to have that strategic passion on the employee side of the equation and building these relationships. I get so sick to my stomach when I hear how much money is left on the table when somebody is scurrying to find 5 employees, 4 employees, 3 employees. A month goes, shit, I'm just going back in the field. The level of stress, the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's a whole different world. And that's part of our vision at HireLeadChill. And that's why is to solve the employee side of our clients' business. Mm-hmm. It's money, it's stress, it's all that stuff goes away. The problems go away if you do what Dan just outlined. It goes away. But I don't know, and I'd love to hear from you. I think it's part ego. I think it's part just we not used to doing that type of stuff. We're used to doing, and we're so focused on marketing and what's our revenue and how many clients do we have and the demand side of it. We love to brag about and talk about. And I'm telling you, man, if I can just get everybody in our little world to do what you're doing and being proactive, your life is going to change, man. I'm going to put frickin' divorce lawyers out of business if you just listen to it a little bit, man.
It is funny. I think a mutual awesome client that we have, Teresa, said we love Skip and Nikki. Skip from Best Damn Bookkeeping, Nikki from HireLeadChill. And like I said earlier, like we are only as good as our worst employee.
Yep.
And I'm not saying Skip and Nikki are our worst employees, but like our other employees are right with them. And they have to be, because Skip doesn't want to work with a shithead. Nikki doesn't want to work with a shithead. And so like back to kind of where you were going is if we back up, like we didn't always think this way.
Right.
Like when we ran our maid services together, we knew we wanted to build a hopper. And I remember we thought we had solved all the world's problems when we came up with this hopper strategy. And I specifically remember I was out running and I messaged you on Voxer, totally out of breath. And I was like, Shawn, we're going to call it the hopper. We're like, I got this idea and we're going to have 3 people interviewed before we even need them. And I thought we were in front of the curve, man. We're going to have 3 people interviewed and then we'll know we're going to call somebody. And now we have hundreds.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's probably an ego thing that causes people to wait and think they're going to find somebody awesome. And maybe that used to be the case, but I think with digital recruiting, especially, you can't, because, and we've talked about the number side of this so many times, I'm not going to reiterate it, but like people are applying to 30 jobs in 2 minutes. They're not committed to your business. Like when they used to have to drive in and get an application.
Yes.
Like that old process used to filter out 28 of those 30 people. So when you're digitally recruiting, you have to understand like 28 of your 30 clicks are going to suck, because they're just lazy people that would have never actually come to your office to get an application. They're not actually interested in working for you. They're just the BC player that is dumpster and rolling. Like, I need a job. I don't really care what it is. I'll change it later. I just need a paycheck right now. Like, you don't even want to entertain that person. Right. And so like we've had to change how we think about recruiting to like building this big list. And it surprised me. And this is the number one pushback that I hear when I say recruiting is not hiring, build your list. And they're like, oh, this won't work with technicians because they need a job right now. And I'm like, that's exactly what I'm saying, is you're hiring people that need a job right now. That is your problem. Like, you're literally justifying your problem and putting it back to me like that's
right.
a defense. You're basically saying, this is unsolvable. And I'm telling you, it's not unsolvable because there's people out there running multi-million-dollar businesses not bitching about their employees.
Yep.
Because they've figured this out and you haven't. And it's bonkers to me how many people like will point a finger and complain rather than solve the problem. Like, we're here right now telling you how to solve the problem. We know how to solve the problem, but they'll say that it can't be done.
Yep.
And it's like they're too arrogant, or they're unwilling to do something that is uncomfortable to them, which is
bam. That's it right there. I was just going to say that.
And build the relationship. Like, they don't trust their ability to maintain a relationship with somebody.
Right.
Like, that's what it is. You have to be intentional.
It's uncomfortable. That's exactly what it is. And I'll have people that will tell me that, clients of ours will say that, and I have to walk them through it, and I have to tell them all the things we're talking about right now. And it's, well, I don't, what am I? I'm misleading them. I'm doing, no, you're just building a relationship with somebody. That's all you're doing. Again, and I go back to sales. If you don't have room on your schedule for a month, do you not build a relationship with them? Do you only bring on new prospective clients if they need you today or tomorrow? No, you bring them all in, and we'll figure it out. We'll you know what? We'll build this relationship. We'll talk you through the process. This is what we're going to do. And and to your point, I can't stress it enough. C employers are the ones that wait till the last minute. They're the ones that you are literally saying, okay, here's a characteristic and a trait of this human being. They're waiting till the last minute to get a job. That's the trait of a C employee, not an A employee.
Back to that paradigm, that's the same thing as a C employer.
Yes,
if you're waiting to recruit when you need to hire, you're a C employer, because you're going to hire okay employees, and you're basically condemning all of your good employees to work with a bunch of okay people.
Right.
Like, that's pretty shitty leadership.
Yep.
Skip's hanging out. Skip chimed in. He said, there's only room for one shithead, and I don't like sharing. But I mean, it did astound me. Like I said, I mean, I recruited these people a year and a half ago, and I know who's at the top of my list, and I'm reaching out, and I know that they want to come work here, because I had Nikki, actually, when we needed some people in the fall, I had Nikki throw out hey, like, we didn't even run ads. Nikki just sent out a blast to our list and said, hey, we didn't forget about you. We want to stay in touch. We're going to put on some kind of, we'll call them second interviews, but just for people that couldn't get with Dan the first time, or if you met with them, but you want to like say hi and jump back in, we're going to do a few more rounds of interviews just to like catch everybody that we didn't get to last time. I saw so many people back on that interview who had been on there before. Yep. And that was like, a year later, they're still like, when's time? I'm coming, right? Like, I want to come work with you guys. And like, that's who I want to hire. Somebody that a year later is like, yeah, I haven't changed my mind.
That's right.
Tell me when it's time to go. And we'll figure it out. And if it doesn't work then, it'll work later, right? They have the same mindset I do, which is, we don't need to force a square peg into a round hole right now, but someday at some point, this will be the right fit. And when it is, you're effing working here. And you're going to do an awesome job, and you're going to have awesome coworkers, and you need that, and I need that, and our customers need that. And people are just so afraid to like invest in those relationships.
Right.
And when you do, like, it's way better for the employee. It's way better for you as an employer. Last time I checked, if the employee is really happy and the employer is really happy, it generally means both are doing a good job at their roles, and your customers are happy because you have the right people. And they know what to do, and they take good care of your customers. Holly Moore's in the house. Check this out.
Hey.
Two babes. She said, I feel like I need to meet Nikki. You do. Nikki's the shit. And
Holly just did a demo today.
Hey, HLC, baby. She just wants to chill. Holly wants to chill because she's got to go out. She's got like bears and she's got, probably she's out there with a big, like, Crocodile Dundee knife, stabbing boars and dragging them back and butchering them up. She's a total badass. But it's scary, right? Because it's so different than what we think recruiting looks like. And so we do need to change for a lot of folks. But I'll just say, like, if my story is proof, good people will wait. They won't wait. They're going to have a job, right? They don't need to wait. It's not like they're going to sit there unemployed, wait for you for a year and a half. And it's okay if it doesn't work out, because they're not expecting to come work for you tomorrow, because they're an A player. They're thinking about the future. They're not saying, I need a job tomorrow. You don't have a job for me tomorrow. You suck. Like, I don't want to hire that person anyway. And you said a thing that I have heard that same rebuttal of like, well, I'm misleading them. I mean, you sure as hell are if you jump in and you're like, I have a job for you today. And then you don't, yeah, you'd be misleading them. But if you do what I do, which is I get on my reverse interview call and say, I'm going to disappoint you immediately, right? I make a joke, I make it fun. But I tell them, I set that expectation immediately. This isn't about hiring you today. If you're here because you need to have a job tomorrow, you're not who I'm looking for anyway. Like, I don't want somebody that's desperate. I don't, Norm, my old boss when I was in the corporate world, he always said, make sure we don't hire somebody that's running from something. Yeah. Make sure they're always running to us. Don't hire somebody that's running from something. It's like dating a rebound, right? Like if they're running from something, it ain't going to last. They're just running away from something. And they happen to run into you, and then they're clingy.
Give a real life example. I mean, I'll give you a real life example. So if you have somebody that comes to that type of interview, you're selling the job to them. You're so much different than any other interview they've ever had. So you're making your company and yourself so much different than everybody else down the road. Number one, that's completely revolutionary. Okay. Number two, 96% of people are employed. So the odds of them already having a job should mean that they don't need to have something tomorrow. That's number two. God. So I get real nervous about those 4% that need a job tomorrow. Okay. Number three, if I'm somebody that just went through the type of interview you're talking about, which is a presentation, which is, this is the best damn company to work for. This is why you're going to wake up every morning and love to come to work here. And then, and they know that they're not going to start right away. So they have to go back to that other job. And that other job is going to pound the shit out of them. They're going to wake up even more every morning and can't wait to get the hell out of it. You will be on their mind, and they're going to love that day when it comes, as you're emailing them, as you're texting them, as you're saying, we're getting closer. I get it. How you doing? All that stuff. They're getting the hell beat out of them at their current job. And you are like a lifesaver to this human being. That's a whole different way to look at hiring and building a bench. I mean, it's crazy.
I want to look back. Let's see here. Oh, that's the wrong chat with this guy. So the guy that is starting in like a week and a half here.
When did you interview him? Approximately.
Let me see how far back I can go.
It's insane.
For sure. August 29th of 2024.
24, not 25.
Yeah. So not quite a year and a half ago with him. I don't know if that was the first one. That might have been the first. That was about when we weren't quite a year in business. I might have interviewed him before that in like the group interview. And then that was like the one-on-one. But yeah, I was like, he was in that same group with these other three candidates. And like I said, then I knew they were they were on the top of my list anyway, on my hit list. And then when I threw out the, hey, who wants to like do another virtual interview and just like, we have new things going on. We have new pay structures. We have updates. And if you missed the first, because like Nikki and I had to shut it down. We just had too many at one point. And I was like, I can't do any more interviews. Like, then I am misleading people because it's going to be 5 years before you can get here. But I wanted to like catch those people that didn't get a chance to be a part of the group interview. So I had some interview vets and some newbies. But yeah, he was way back there.
And you're building relationships. That's what you're doing.
Building relationships. And so I have an email string with him going back to like October. He and I started going back and forth after that August interview. And so we stayed in touch. So since October of 2024, we have 16 different emails back and forth. I had said to him in early January, we had brought on two other guys that were like in the same group with him, said, hey, I think we're looking to bring you on late February. Sounds great. Looking forward to a chat. He and I jumped on a Zoom meeting a couple weeks ago. And I kind of said, hey, I'm like late Feb, but like, let's talk. And I want to show you some new stuff. Trying to find the back and forth we just had, because then one of our new guys said, hey, I'm not gonna stick it out. There's other stuff I think is a better fit. And I emailed Kyle Saturday, which is when I found out one of the other guys wasn't gonna go forward. Kyle goes, "Oh crap, that's a surprise," but like in a positive way. Let's get an offer letter and get signed up. I'll put my notice in on Tuesday. Like, just pumped, right? Like, just pumped.
Yes. So it's over a year and a half later or more, you're hiring a human being that you first interviewed that knew he didn't have a job at that time.
August 24th, That's year insane. And five months. And he starts in a week and a half.
Yep. That's proactive, man. That's building a relationship. And I got one other thing to add. How could AI have done that? Somebody answer me that question right now. How could AI have done what you just did? It can't build that relationship. It could send out some things here or there, and that's when we use it. And automation's great, and it does that. But it can't build a relationship and sell a job on a virtual thing or in a group interview. It can never do that. It can't do that. That's why it's so important to still do some of the work, get uncomfortable. I know it's uncomfortable doing a group interview sometimes. Once you do it once or twice, it's game over. You're going to I actually love doing that now. I love talking about my core values and my culture. And I get super passionate about that stuff. And like, I probably have done it over 1,000 times already, and I still get passionate about it.
It's the most exciting thing in our business. We get to, as you say, it's the biggest sale we'll make all year. Yep. If one of those people works out, they're worth $200,000 or more in some industries. It's bigger than any client we ever sell. Yep. So it's like, it is the most important part of our business. What else was I going to say about Kyle? There was something in there that escaped me. The guy that doesn't escape me though is Barry Little. Can't get it. You couldn't, not that you'd want to shake Barry. He's like the nicest guy on the planet, but Barry's everywhere, man. You can't shake this guy. Like Barry Sanders couldn't shake Barry Little. Barry Little is everywhere, man. He's defensive player of the year. But it is so important. I think back to the AI thing, like it is a tool, but it can't, if AI would have tried to conduct that group interview, and I know you guys use AI to do some of the follow-ups and help write some of the follow-ups and build the sequences. And that helped me stay in touch with Kyle. But then when he replies and asks what's going on or gives me an update, like then I reply, right? He needs to know what's me. And we kind of jokingly, for like templated emails, I make a joke that it's an email template. Like I want them to know like, hey, this is just a nerdy email template, but we want you to know that like you're in the system so that we can stay in touch with you. So you get these generic templated emails, right? Like we all know this is happening, right? But it's disingenuous to send one of those and act like it's real. When they interact with me, they know it's really me. Like, it's pretty unmistakable when you interact with me that it's okay. Right. This is Dan. But I think that was important, right? The follow-up call that I did with him, jumped on a Zoom call and I screen shared and showed him what we're doing and how our pay structures work and things we've added since August of 2024, right? When he first interviewed with us. And like, that's why he said, oh, this is a surprise. I'm putting in my 2 weeks right now. Right. Yeah. Like it wasn't like, hey, yeah, sounds all right. Neato, I get to come and get a paycheck from you. It's like, where do I sign? Send me that offer letter, man. Like I'm running. Dude, right.
That makes my point. That makes my point when I said they're going back to that miserable job. They're looking for a job for a reason. So they go back to that miserable job after you sold them the best job on the planet. They want to work for you so bad. And it's just not going to happen right now, but one day it will. So he's got to go back to this job he doesn't like. He's getting the living shit beat out of him day in and day out. Gets that message from you. It's like Christmas morning to a 3-year-old, man. That's why he's excited. That's why he's excited, man.
And I think with him specifically, this proves the point we've been talking about too, which is he took a different job in between. Yeah. Like he's not in the same job that he had when I had first interviewed him. He was looking for something. He he went to work for a nonprofit. After a year of that, he was like, hey, and I had reached out to him previous to kind of put a game plan together. And he said, I just started at a place. I'm going to see this through. Like, I made a commitment and I want to I think there's some room for improvement here. And so I want to dig in. It's like, no worries, man. You're on my list. You're never not going to be on my list. Like, someday you will work here. So this was the second time, I interviewed him and I said, hey, you're on my list. I reached out to him probably 6 months later and said, hey, what's it looking like? And he said, I got a job. I think I'm liking it. I think I'm going to stay here for a little bit. I was like, that's fine. You're still high on my list, someday. And then the next time came around and I send out hey, we're looking.
Yep.
And he's like, yes, please.
Yep.
Right. A year and a half later. And that's where it's just about building relationships someday. And
right.
Amanda, who's the other gal who said, I took a different job in November. Seems like a really good fit. I'm going to see it through. Still want to come work for you someday. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Someday you will.
Yep.
And this will be the last place you ever work. But let me know if you need help where you're at, right? Stay in touch. Let me know how it's going. But we ain't going anywhere. We'll be here for you.
The other thing too is when you do those types of phone calls and you're engaging, especially the phone calls in that relationship building, which we're not used to anymore nowadays, right? That type of phone call, what does that do too? This little thing here's every single thing I talk about. Why do we get ads on from Domino's when we talk about pizza or text something about pizza?
Oh, so shit, I already got Domino's ads popping up now. You just
see there? Pay raise, Shawn Day. Pay raise, Shawn Day. So they're probably getting social media feeds as much as you're online and stuff about Dan Platt. And I know that to be true because I've seen some of those people comment on your podcast and comment on your Facebook Lives that you interviewed 6 months ago.
That's always funny. Some people once they figure out who they're interviewing with, by the time they get to the interview, they'll be like, dude, I started watching your podcast and I watched 3 of them. You guys are freaking having way more fun than every other accounting company that I've ever even heard of. Where do I sign up? Right. I might be an accountant, but that doesn't mean I'm a boring, stale twerp. Right. I want to have some fun. You guys have fun. I don't know why it's how you do it, why you do it. But I want to be a part of that. So I will get people showing up to my interview and it might not even be the right fit, but they keep checking in, they keep chiming in, whatever it is. Here's the thing I want to hit on though. And sure. I need you to walk us through how you guys do this, because I think a really important piece of this is, and I mentioned earlier, I want to get 500 applicants. And Nikki knows, I don't have a budget. We'll start. I think we decided we're going to boost $20 a day for 10 days to get started here. But if she said $2,000 a day for 10 days, sure. Right. Whatever if that's 20 grand, you and I, there was one year we spent 35 grand in Minnesota alone on boosting. Yeah. Right. It's I know from doing that, I will spend whatever it takes to have the best team. There's no amount of money I won't. I mean, if it costs me $1 million to build the best team, I got to raise my prices. But I could spend 20 grand in the next week to build the best team in the world. That's a no-brainer. That would pay for itself over. And I already have the best team in the world, so I need to spend 20 grand. But you get my point. But I'm not going to talk to all 500 of those people that we get. I'm going to talk to maybe 100. And we're still in the no-show age. Even when it gets whittled down to 100, there's going to be plenty of no-shows. I will probably actually interview 60 of them, right. 60, 70 maybe, which is still a hell of a lot of people out of that 500 because you guys whittle down so much. So I want to be really intentional so that people don't think I'm looking at 500 Indeed applications, because I get that when I tell people I get 500 applicants, they're like, I don't have time to do that. I'm like, no shit, you don't. Of course you don't. Neither do I. Why would you? That would be crazy, and you would do a terrible job at it. That's why you hire Shawn and Nikki and Trish to go through. I mean, you guys don't even go through it, to build a process, to build a system, to score people so that you can mathematically weed people out and get to the ones that you actually want to talk to, and they can manage the efficiency of the interactions and the follow-ups so that you're not wasting your time. You can be really efficient building relationships with the right people. So without giving away everything that you guys do, can you kind of talk through, and I've got my job ad that Nikki just helped me recraft here because we changed some things in our business. I can show that, but from the minute I say, all right, Nikki, let's do it, you guys handle everything. And then I just see the interviews start popping up on my schedule to do my reverse interview. Can you kind of take us through your process of if I'm a new client and I'm coming to HireLeadChill and I say, hey, I know I got to start recruiting in January. I know I'm going to need people in March and April. What do you need from me? How do we get going? Like, talk us through what that, like, the life cycle is, the startup cycle for a new client, and how you get them to have as much success as you guys got me to have.
So one of the things I always tell people is our elevator pitch is sort of, we want to be your full-time recruiting department. Okay. So if I'm going to be your full-time recruiting department, my team and I, the first thing we're going to do is research your labor market. If I'm going to be your full-time recruiting department, I want to know your labor market as though I own your business, as though I live in that labor market. Okay. I want to know it, breathe it, understand it. And the reason behind that, and I don't gloss over that, because the reason behind it is places like Google, Apple, Facebook, Indeed.com are super, super, super protective of their data. So ChatGPT and other AI that's out there can't, just because they're AI, they can't just magically walk through a secret door and get all the data from Google and get all the back data from Facebook. And Indeed is hyper protective of their data. So for that reason, you can't just go to ChatGPT and get the right keywords for your specific labor market. It might spurt out a couple good ideas on what your keyword should be and what a good job title might be for in general. But I'll give you news. In Texas, they love the word maids. Okay, I talked to 2 people in Texas today. They love the word maids. Maids on a mission.
Is Holly a maid gal? Is Holly, they call
more,
maids?
More and maids, maids and more, you know. So it's buckets and bows, maid service, maids on a mission. They're all in Texas. In New England, in Ohio, Minneapolis, you'll never hear that word maids. Okay. So we owned a window cleaning place in Minneapolis that one year. We owned one in Cincinnati, Ohio. Identical company, identical everything but labor market. I had to use general labor because that's what the data told me to use. That's what our researching that labor market told us to use. And we hired 40-some people that year. Okay.
Yeah, that was our big post-COVID labor market. Like, we'll spend whatever it takes. We just need people to go clean these damn.
And the good news, we spent $38,000. The good news is you did $200,000 in the month of June in revenue, so it worked out pretty good.
Crazy. That was wild. And now Owen, who runs, like, he's Andy's kind of right-hand guy, runs all business. He came from that. I interviewed him over the phone, like, during that crazy push. He's still with us, and it's like arguably maybe the best interview success story we've ever had.
Big time, man. And then in Cincinnati, Ohio, with the same business, same job position, same everything, I would have lost about 40% of my application flow if I didn't do my homework, didn't do the research there, because it said window cleaner or window cleaning is what I should use there. It's a different labor market. So that's number one. We're going to research your labor market so that we can identify. I've got stuff in Indeed that I know and I subscribe to, and I can do all of that. You don't have to do any of that. We'll put together a job ad that's going to create that more application flow. We're going to provide you with a budget on what we feel you might want to budget based on what you tell us your hiring needs are, your urgency is, how many you need, all those sort of things. We'll put together a budget based on the research in your labor market, how competitive it is. Do you have an Amazon warehouse across the street that's competitive? All those things we're going to find out for you. Whether you use us or not as your recruiting department, we're going to expose to you what your labor market is. It has nothing to do whether you use us or not. It is what it is. The budget that we put together for you is a budget that says, whether you use our recruiting service or not, this is what we're recommending that you put together for a budget on a per hiring basis. So let's say it's $200 budget we come up with based on the research, based on what your labor market is demanding of you, okay? And you need 5 people. You probably want a budget somewhere around $1,000 for that, 200 times 5. Now, we're very strategic with that as well. We never tell somebody, you better put $1,000 on Indeed or a couple hundred here on Facebook and 900 on Indeed tomorrow. We do it incrementally. We might say, let's do a couple things with some things and get some application flow. Let's start at maybe $20 a day like we did with you, Dan, for 10 days. That's $1,000, maybe a week, something like that.
That's not $1,000, Shawn. That's $200.
$200.
How you say that number? I'm the math guy, so I know. It's my job.
Don't ever spend $1,000 like that.
It's a bad way to go.
Yeah, that'll F up your bookkeeping right quick when somebody spends $100 on something.
I don't even know how to spend that much. I don't even know if that's a number.
Is that a debit or a credit?
I don't know what way to type that in.
So you spend a couple $100. We might execute for you and you might get your 5 hires. Maybe not. But what it does is it brings in that application flow. By the way, you don't know any of this that's going on. It will create a job ad for you. We will manage that job ad and post it in a few different places. Indeed's always going to be one of them because that's the big player. You'll never have to log into your Indeed account ever if you use our services. That alone will save you so much stress and aggravation and money and time. That's worth thousands of dollars a month. That alone, okay? We'll manage all of that for you. We'll refresh the jobs. We'll do all that stuff. And then wherever a job seeker finds the job that we're managing for you, it could be a QR code we gave you. It could be you put something on your Facebook page. It could be somebody walked in. It could be an employee referral. They always get redirected to funnel into our automation and our workflow. Okay? From that time, what happens is we're going to put them through a screening process. So all of that I just laid out makes us different than any other of our competition that does anything. Okay? We research your labor market to do it the right way. We also have a screening process that nobody else has. It's not a predictive index that we've renamed. It's not a disc profile. It's not any of that stuff, which all has its place, okay? It's specifically data and questions that we have specifically for the cleaning industries and home service industries to uncover behaviors and attitudes, not personalities, okay? Behaviors and attitudes on human beings that we're going to want to have come work for us. So that kind of gives you that part there on what we do. The screening process, nobody has the screening we have.
I think people obsess about their disc profiles, but
yeah,
I've met people that are high S's that are great, high C's that are great, high D's that are great, high I's that are great. It's like, yeah, how you interact with them might be a little bit different, but it has no bearing on if they're going to be a good employee.
Right.
Like any personality type can work in pretty much any role, right? Introverts can be great leaders. Extroverts can be great leaders. Extroverts are just going to be a little more annoying, like myself. But it's like those are interesting, but they're only as good. They're so manipulatable. Like if I always feel like whenever I fill out any of those type of personality things, like I'm just who I think I am.
Right.
Because I fill it out to be what I want myself to be. So if you send that to an employee, you're just getting, it's like if somebody's a good interviewer, you hire somebody that's a good interviewer. You don't hire a good employee. We've all been burned by that. Right. And I get that same vibe from all the different personality profiles. It doesn't really help us hire people. I think what works really well and why I think yours works so well is those applicants don't know what the right answer is. They don't know what they want to be. They don't know what you're actually weeding out. They're not aware of what's happening. And so they can't game it because they don't even know what you're trying to get at with your question.
Right.
And so you just get the truth, which is the hard thing to do. When people interview, they don't tell you the truth, right? They tell you what you want to hear. And if they're good at interviewing, that's how they get the job, but you're just hiring somebody that's good at interviewing. Whereas those questions get the truth because they don't know how to manipulate it. They've never seen anything like it before.
Yep, exactly. And we've got a scoring system. They don't know they're being scored. There's nothing that can indicate that, but we have it. It's internal. And by the time they get through, there's 3 parts to the online application that we put together for our clients. Contact information, part 1, your knockout questions or disqualifiers, if it's driver's license or you have to be able to speak English or whatever it is. Can't be afraid of heights if you're hanging lights, that type of thing. Those are the knockouts. And then we go through our screening process. The cool thing is that almost every single one of our questions in the screening is a drop-down menu. So if you could picture that on a phone, because 90% of people are doing it on a phone, it's like, boom, it wrote next, boom, next, boom. They're not typing sentence after sentence after sentence after sentence. There's not a lot of thought that goes into it where they have to sit there and think for 5 minutes about what they're going to do.
And you don't want them to, right? You want
Right.
an organic response. You want like a true to their nature response of like what their first inclination is, because that's who they are.
Exactly. It's their gut. That's who they are. Exactly. And through all that, there's like 20 some questions. They get it done in 4 minutes. So there's not a bunch of drop off going on either, where there's 100 open-ended questions. They're not going to finish 2 of them. I promise you that. They might not finish 1 before they just drop off. So we uncover an awful lot about that human being, and you've never even met him yet. You've never even talked to him yet. You don't even know they're going through this process yet. You've done none of that as a client of ours. And instantly when they hit submit, instantly we know if it's somebody that should move on to the next step of the process, or if it's somebody that's going to get the email and text that says, hey, thanks a lot. Have a good day. It didn't work out, go away. We know instantly, and they know instantly, right? And so that's big. That happens fast, but it uncovers a hell of a lot of stuff. And then like some of the stuff that we do that saves a lot of time that's boring, but I'll talk about it just in like 10 seconds here. You're going to have some of those that are rejected that have questions. We're going to answer those questions for our clients. I don't want my clients spending 1 second when somebody goes, why didn't I get hired? Why didn't I do that? No. And by the way, we do it super, super first class. We make them feel really good. And at times we'll ask them, we might be able to guide you in finding a job that maybe you'll be happier with. If we can help, let us know. We don't want somebody in your neighborhood to be pissed off about any part of the process. So we make them feel really good as you can when they get rejected.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know you guys were doing that. Yep. That's awesome. Because I can imagine like you just get somebody that was really hoping for that job and really disappointed and has a bone to pick or whatever. That's huge. Because that is a distraction and a huge waste of time for the business.
And you're never going to interview or hire them. Why would you spend time doing that? Let us do it. We're your full-time recruiting department. And when I say that, I mean it. And AI can't do that stuff as well as we can do it when they have a question. All you're going to do is frustrate somebody more. And I can tell you, Dan, what prompted us to do that was a story that somebody told us that they never got back to their candidates. And 2 of them went and gave a 1-star Google review. They had like 500, 5-star, 4.5, 4.7, whatever. They built up for like years. And 2 people went in there that they never got back to, that they never wanted to interview, and dissed them. And Google never took it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it actually sounded like it came from a client or a prospective client, not an employee, because all it said was, this company sucks. I called them 3 times, 4 times. They never returned any of my calls. That's all it said.
Yeah. That was a sneaky good 1-star review, actually. That was the 1-star review that where you're like, oh, shit. That is a accurate 1-star review versus like the ones where they're just clearly a total whiny bitch. There's another thing that you guys do. I don't know if you do this for everybody else or if this is just special treatment for me, but you guys have, and Nikki and I built this together, is like we do a little accounting quiz, and it's just yes or no questions, and it's hilarious. And I think this is like a sign of a really good employee. Is we can see their answers to this little accounting quiz we wrote up, because I need to make sure they know their stuff, but they're worded funny because they're all like true. They have to be true or false, and so I like had to word them a little bit funny. And so people that make it through your guys' filter then have this little quiz we put them through. And again, I don't do it. You guys do it. Nikki figured it out, and then I can see who took it, and they will get through. If they fail, but there's nothing that stops them from taking it again. And I don't think we did that intentionally, but what I found is a lot of people will miss like 1 or 2 things from the wording, but it's the person that's relentless enough to go back and do it again. Cause they're like, well, now I know what the wrong answer is. Right. And it's like, that is what a good bookkeeper needs to do is I make journal entries wrong all the time, but guess what? I can go edit it. Right. I can go back and undo it and redo it. Even if it was last year, if the taxes are already filed, I might have to correct it in this year. But like part of accounting is correcting historical errors. That's a huge part of what we do. When we get a new client, first thing we do is go back and fix old errors. And for them to have the wherewithal to be like, oh shit, Like,
Yeah.
I think I can get back in here and redo that. Like, and I want to, like, I want to make it through this thing.
That's right.
And it's like sneaky funny of just who's willing to put in the effort and who's like, oh, I guess I'm out. Yeah, you know, like, woe is me, right? And like, I think that little, in my case, because we're trying to hire this bookkeeper, like having a little professional quiz helps, and it's just hilarious looking at their who's like I had people that did it like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, that's maybe too much. Like maybe they don't know accounting at all; they're just guessing. But I appreciate like one of our core values is steadfast, and so like core value displayed. They're relentless. They're going to keep coming at you until they get it right.
We've done that for like pest control companies that have to deal with chemicals and stuff. So, you know, your ratios and things like that. So that's kind of similar. We've done that. Yeah. We do a little bit more screening for maybe ops managers and salespeople than we do for cleaning technicians, and different types of screenings for those positions. So yeah, definitely it's tailored towards the job position.
Heck yeah. What then? So like at what point do you guys say, all right, our work here is done, flip it to Dan, like flip it to the client? Like what's the transition where it hits my plate?
So we get that person that comes in, they qualified, they'll come into our system because they qualified. They get an email and a text that says, hey, we're super pumped up. You did outstanding. We can't wait to meet you and hopefully get you hired. Okay. And so we have a link there that they can click to schedule it based on your availability. If your availability changes at any time, you just let Nikki or your account manager know. She'll update the calendar, no problem. In fact, Nikki has done this in the past where somebody couldn't make it to the interviews. They got into a car accident. They had like 6 interviews set up, or a group interview with 6 people showing up. They didn't have to call 6 different people from the road or worry about it or look bad. All they did was text Nikki real quick. She rescheduled every one of them. So, I mean, we're your full-time recruiting department, man. Yeah. AI, that's tough to do with AI, okay? That's tough. So with that said, once they get to that stage, a couple things can happen. Crickets, we don't hear from them. So the system will automatically email them and text them an hour later. If nothing, an hour later to remind them again. We need you to interview. We want to meet you. The other thing that can happen, again, they have a question. If they haven't committed to an interview, I don't want my customers messing with them. Nikki will answer those questions, even for qualified people. You got to set up an interview or you're not getting to the owner or manager. We're walling that, man. And so the other thing that happens, and this is, I am super excited about this because we started this about 2 years ago. And I think Teresa McConnell, if she's still on, would testify to this. I always tell people I can't use the word a lot yet. I'm getting close. But we're seeing more and more and more of this. And that is, if they completely ghost us, but they qualified, man, in 7 business days, the system, nobody has to do anything. The system automatically puts them in this column that we call the chill, HireLeadChill. By the way, I'm the chill executive officer. I changed that about 2 months ago.
That. I like that. Yeah. That's good. Is that on your business card? You got a business card that says that yet?
I did that for the childcare one I went to, and I got it on the business card. Yeah, they love it. They love it. So they're in a column now because they ghost us. Here's the problem. So many people think that that's a bad person. They're lazy. They're this and that. So when they're in that column, we're sending them out emails and text messages about once a month, reminding them we're still here. That column is identical in every way, shape, and form as the freaking prospective client that comes to you on the sales end of your business that says, hi, I want to get information about your business and some pricing. You know they're qualified because they say, I saw the Christmas lights across the street. You know they're in the development that can afford it, okay? Or I came from Mrs. Smith. I know you're cleaning her house. But that person ghosts you after that. What do? Do you say they're a bad person and you never follow up with them again? Hell no. You got automation that's following up with them, and one day they're going to be a customer, hopefully. That's what the chill follow-up is doing. I can't use the word a lot yet. Maybe soon, but I am seeing more and more doing this. This is the real life I'm seeing. Quick apply on Indeed. They quick apply to 10 places. Like you said, they can apply to 10 places in 10 seconds, literally. Mm-hmm. Then they go and they get 6 interviews out of that. They go to 2 interviews. Then they see your job ad. When they get done with that and they apply and they were asked to set up an interview, they've accepted a job offer already. And they go to so they're going to go to the Chill follow-up, and we're going to continue to go after them. Here's what we're seeing. We're seeing somebody take a job that they were promised $1,100 a week. Their first 7 or 8 paychecks were $650 and $700. I would tell my daughter or my son, if that's the case, go find another freaking job. That's bullshit. It does not mean they're a bad person. We are getting so many more people hired from that column. I'm going to start using the word a lot real soon. Real soon.
Well, I mean, just like when I retargeted, right?
Yep.
When I threw my feelers back out there, we hired Jess almost immediately. Like, she was on my list. She re-interviewed and showed up, and it was like, yeah, still a good fit. Let's do this thing. And the other 4 people that I mentioned all responded to that, and 3 of them jumped on that like group interview again. And like, I recognized them, right? And I think Jess had gotten missed the first time around. And when she like re-interviewed, it was just such a no-brainer. It was like, yeah, like, now's the perfect time. We need somebody. You need to be here. We've been in touch for a year. Like, this is a good fit. But same thing, like, multiple people had came back that missed the first interview. They applied to interview, and I'd get these messages like, there's no open slots left. There's no open slots left. And I was like, yeah, we kind of shut it down. We're just like, upper is like too full. Yeah. And I can't keep track of everybody at some point. Like 20 to 30, I'm fine with. But when we start getting more than that, it's like, I don't even know who's good anymore. I can't even remember you.
Right.
And like, I can't, it's one thing for me to say like, hey, like in the next few years, like, we're going to need you here. An A player is like, hell yeah. You know, if it's in 5 to 10 years, we're going to need you here. It's like 5 to 10 years. I don't even know. Is the world going to be here in 5 to 10 years?
Right.
Who knows who's going to be the president? Is it still going to be the United States of America? Is the Gulf going to be different? Are we going to own Greenland yet? What the hell's going on anymore? Like, at some point, it's just too far in the future. So it's like, I didn't want to get too far out, but that retargeting.
And so
talked about it forever, but like, to see it in action, it was just such a no-brainer.
To your question, that's pretty much where we stop right there. So we get all that stuff going. Once they do set up an interview and they click that link, the calendar pops up and they schedule a day and time, that's when our client takes over. Because what we learned is we tried doing some interviewing. We thought that would be a nice value to add for our clients, and a couple of them had asked that. What we found was, you don't want your candidates to start building that relationship with Shawn or Nikki or Trish or anybody else on the team. You want that is the time where you need to be showing your face, seeing them, and building that relationship right there. And so I don't want to start building that relationship. I don't want to interview them for that reason. So that's where the handoff comes in.
Yep. Look at this guy right here.
Who?
This nerd. This nerd throwing out nerds. Nerd your face. I see this thing. You've addressed this about AI a couple times, and I want to like point that out, which is like, AI is awesome. It is a super useful tool, but it can't replace relationships. And at the end of the day, no matter what business we're in, we are all in the people business. Our company is only as good as our worst employee. And so to try to use AI to manage your relationships, like, it can manage some communication things that you can then utilize to like better communicate yourself with your relationships, right? It can do some of the scheduling stuff and whatever for you. Like, we're all using technology tools, but I think I get really nervous even to do like, oh yeah, I hear this all the time. I have an AI that phone screens people. And I'm like, do you want to be the person on the other end of that?
Right.
Like, I'm not even important enough to talk to you. Right. I'm like, you've sent me through the screener, which like, I think filling out an application is not a new thing, right? People are used to that, but now you're going to have me talk to a robot. Like, right. I can't even get the time of day from you. You're going to have me talk to a robot I'm not important enough to build a relationship with. I like, if somebody sent me to an AI phone screener, maybe I'm just old school, but I'd be like, I don't know that I want to be here.
Right.
Oh, right. This makes more sense. Ryan Lee said, "Oh, damn, autocorrect meant studs."
Uh-huh.
Nerdy studs, maybe nerdy studs.
That's all right.
He says, "I learned that your team members are worth way more revenue than your clients are from you guys," which is like math that we all like know exists, but we don't think about it in that way very often. But it's so true. Our employees are worth way more dollars than our clients are. Clients are super important. Don't get me wrong, but Shawn, you always say like there's nobody out there that's like banging their head against a client relationship. It's when it's when Katya says, "Hey, I'm gonna leave at the end of January," and you're like, "No, like this is detrimental," right? And thank God we use HireLeadChill, so it like didn't totally destroy us, but we still have to like we need 2 people to replace one. Nobody can come in and do what she can do. It takes. She's been here for 2 years. It's going to take them 2 years to be at her level. Like it just is. She's great. So like it's a hit, but if you didn't have a good recruiting system and have that list built, damn, that sets you back, right? Like I wouldn't be able to grow. I have this is no lie. This is how busy January is. I was just literally looking at this schedule earlier. I don't know how. I'd have to look back at last January. I mean, we still got 10 days left. I'm already at 20 demos for January.
Yeah.
I feel like January is usually like a 10 demo month. I'll hit like 30 demos a month in like March, April.
Yeah.
Like late Feb, March, April, you hit convention time and everybody's going gangbusters and like I got to start measuring this stuff. I don't know that I've ever I don't know if I've even ever hit 10 double-digit demos in January. Like it's go time, and then to have your number 2 person be like rolling out at the end of the month, it was like, thank God I got HireLeadChill. Thank God. Like I would be miserable otherwise.
I've said this I remember hearing, I think it was Kurt Kempton years ago, and he's a marketing guy, so he would say this, that when he owned his window cleaning company, he used to say, we're a customer service company. We just happen to clean windows. And I've been saying for years with recruiting, you're a recruiting company unless you're selling widgets or some sort of a product that goes into somebody else's hand or in their house or in their garage or something. If you're just servicing them or installing things and you're sending an employee to them, you're in the recruiting business. Let me tell you that right now. You just happen to be landscape lighting or cleaning windows or maid service. That's what your byproduct is. You are in the recruiting business. And if you can really believe that, it'll change everything for you.
I think Ryan just hit it on the head. We probably just end on this. Said, just hire Shawn and your wildest dreams will come true.
My favorite guy that came from Ryan Lee is Eric, man, the cowboy in Nashville.
Eric Holmgren. Yeah, country music star. Eric Holmgren.
He sends us a lot of business, man. Both of them. I appreciate it.
I still need to get Eric doing some bookkeeping.
He's a busy man. He's
got gigs. He's got to go play some tunes every once in a while, too.
Yeah, he does, man.
So what's on the dock for you guys at HireLeadChill? Like what are you rolling out this year? Obviously, you're getting busy slam this time of year, but what's new? What's fresh? Who are you mentioned like supporting the daycare industry, which is pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Like what's on the forefront for you guys?
So we're speaking of AI. I've been working AI huge myself, but this is crazy. So I'm putting together reporting, and not just me, my team and I are putting together reporting from that screening stuff that we're doing. We're going to be able to take that data. Our clients and we're going to use you as an example to when we get this all set up. We're going to take the people that you hired that worked out the best that you love, your A players you want to duplicate. And we're going to go back and we're going to use AI and automation to create a report that's going to be able to identify the exact way they answered certain questions. And when we see the trend of the way that they answered certain questions and the way that certain scores play out for your specific labor market, because it'll be different in different labor markets.
Yeah, right? Different companies, different cultures.
You're damn right. Your specific company, your core values, your culture, your company. We're going to be able then to say, we're going to weight those questions a little bit more heavy in our scoring system specifically for you, which is almost going to be a predictor on who you're going to want to hire. It's definitely going to increase the odds of hiring the right people. Yeah. So that's one of the things I'm working on right now, and I think that's gold. I really am psyched up about that.
It's cool too, because I think right now in the world of recruiting, there's a lot of data that says technicians answer questions like this. And our data at HireLeadChill is very similar, which is we know, and I'm taking words out of your mouth, but we know how folks answer these questions that stick around for a long time, which means they're good. You like them. They like your job. It's the right fit. We don't care what their personality type is. It's hilariously irrelevant. What we care about one thing, which is this person going to stick around for a long time? And if it's like talking about an admin person, and really at the end of the day, it's like we can talk about skip rates, we can talk about reschedules, we can talk about conversions. There's one thing that actually matters that everything else points to: revenue. How much work do they get on the schedule? Yep. Right. And kind of same thing in any hiring thing. It's how long do you keep them? You can point to different personality things, but if they have a good attitude and they show up on time every day and they work really hard and learn new things, like they're going to stick around.
Right.
And you're going to keep them around. And if you're a good leader and they're a good worker, they're going to stick around. So that's the thing that needs to get vetted out. It's actually hilariously simple. Like that's what we're all seeking is long-term employees. And so to like be able to pinpoint that and learn who a long-term employee for me is,
right?
Like that's pretty fucking cool. Because everything else is just like, oh, in these industries, here's the personality types that tend to work out. Like, and it's hilarious. It's like the data, and I'm a statistics nerd a little bit. This is like a thing I went to college and did. I'm a math guy. Like the R squared on a lot of stuff, which is all about the consistency and like causation, correlation. The R squared on that stuff is not that high.
Nope.
Like it's high enough to maybe just there's some correlation, but it's like it's just not high enough to be reliable.
Right.
And again, like it's not reliable because all sorts of personalities can have good attitudes.
Yep.
And good work. Like introverts can have good attitudes. Extroverts can have good attitudes.
Right.
Like introverts can clean windows. Extroverts can clean windows.
Haven't most of us had employees that some talk an awful lot and some don't talk much at all, but they go out and produce a ton of revenue for us? So what the fuck does that have to do with why? What's the personality there? Which one of those personalities works? Both do if they've got the right behaviors and attitudes.
Here, I have two people on my team right now. I'm going to name them. If they watch this, they'll know who they are, and I think they would totally disagree. Katie on our team came to us without accounting experience. She had business ownership experience. She ran her own daycare in her house, and it was very clear early on that she will outwork whoever. She even to this day, she's like, yep, I'll learn it. Right. And I was like, like accounting is a thing. Like people go to school for years and years. She's like, I can figure it out. And I'm like, she's so confident. She has me convinced she's going to figure it out. And so her and I looked at like different things she could do. And she was sending me stuff and I was sending her stuff. And after like a month or two after that interview, we stayed in touch and she was like, really like, yeah, I got this. I'm coming. Awesome. And I was like, all right, like if you want to be here and you think you can learn this stuff, 2 years later, she's still here. She produces probably more than anybody on our team. Like she's just that person. Right. And we see the same in window cleaning and maid service. Like there are people that can just crank out work, and that's Katie. And she's still like, I want more on my plate because I don't want to even have onboards to know I'm hitting bonus territory. I want to have so much recurring revenue that I'm guaranteed a bonus every single month, no matter what. And then I'll decide if I want even more than that. Right. Like she's like that person. She's like, bring it. Jess, who I hired this fall, and Katie's, I'll say she's a little more on the quiet side. Jess, everything she's thinking. She is that type of person, and so am I, right? Like I'm talkative as all hell. If Jess and I get on a call, we get nothing done. We're just bullshitting the whole time, having a great time. She's a bartender. She's out in Montana. She's a bartender. She's like she can do construction stuff. She has an accounting background, but she has a family bar that she's like has helped bartend and run for years. And and it's like same wildly different personality.
Yeah.
Wildly different personality, but same. I mean, it's like a Saturday night. And she's like, "Hey, you available to jump on?" I'm like, "Jesus Christ, Jess, what are you doing working right now?" It's like she's just like, "Oh, I had some time. I saw some from a client. I'm just in here doing my thing." Right? Like just the salt of the earth type of employees. They couldn't be more different from a personality perspective, and they are both awesome employees. Like they both like to work hard, really care about their clients. When they send messages about their clients, they're like bragging about how awesome their clients are, right? Like they obsess about their relationships with their clients. Like, and they're totally wildly different personalities, but like what's important to them is it ends up being the same thing. They have a really good attitude. They like working really hard, and it doesn't matter time of day of the week, whatever it is. If they have a client and the client needs something, they really care about taking care of that client. Personality, nothing to do with it.
That sort of plays into one other thing I'm working on. Our team is that core. We've worked so hard on proactive, doing what you're doing, building that bench, and really building relationships with these people in your community that one day will work for you and be great, right? What I want to make sure of, though, is that we're helping you with the back end of this too. So I'm working really hard on helping our clients figure out, again, what your why is, what's your purpose, what are you trying to, why are you even doing this, okay? And then I know for sure, because I've done this with a number of clients already and some non-clients, that this works. I'm getting tremendous feedback. Once I help you figure out your why, that's personal. That's like, and I was talking to somebody this morning or maybe yesterday, Josh Dickus, okay? And I'm like, guys have the most problem with this because you kind of have to be vulnerable a little bit. And I think most guys especially, and I'm an old timer, so don't be yelling at me, ladies, but I think guys especially always have this guy inside them that they want to get out there, this better human being. Even when we're good guys and we're good people, there's something in us. I can be better than this. I can be a little bit better husband. I can be a better father. I can be a better boss. I can be better than what I'm being. I can serve God's kids a little bit better, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit of like an inferiority complex. Like I'm not living to my fullest potential. Like there's more I can serve. And I can't speak for females because I'm not one.
That's true.
I assume like especially entrepreneurial women, I assume they have the same instincts in that regard. Like if I watch Marty, like I think hers are about like I can be a better mom.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think that's like her obsession goes to that, because our obsession goes to like providing, right, and that nature, and theirs goes to like protecting. Like it's like a different and it's biological, and I'm not a scientist. I'm a freaking bookkeeper, but I resonate with what you're saying for sure.
Once you figure that out, that's when your business comes into play. Then you get your vision, your company vision. That's when you get the team on board. But that company vision has to support your why. Okay. And if you get all your employees in the right direction, going the right vision, and this is what's happening with your company. You've got a great culture and great core values. Once that vision's set, then your core values should support that vision. It gaps that thing there. The vision then becomes something passionate, okay, for everybody on your team. And the way that we keep momentum and energy going towards that vision is core values. These are the behaviors and attitudes that we all have to make this the best freaking place on the planet to work. And when one of us steps outside of that, it screws up everybody. Forget me, the owner, forget that, the client, and forget all that stuff. I think you have to bridge these gaps. What else would you have? These behaviors that don't support this vision. That doesn't make sense. It's got to support what your vision and what your why is, in my view. And we've talked a little bit about this. Then the culture starts to take on its own life, because if people are acting and behaving in a way that is so powerful that they're moving everybody towards this vision, your culture just creates itself. You don't even have to worry about the culture. It's happening. It takes on its own life. And if you put all that together really, really, really well, it solves the number one problem I see in small business owners, and that's leadership. If you just do those 4 things, a better leader naturally for just doing those things.
There's it becomes so apparent to me. There's a thing that I see over and over again when I look at businesses. There are people running multi-million-dollar businesses that have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Yep.
And there are people running small businesses that are on their way to running multi-million-dollar businesses, and they don't realize that the intangible thing that you just talked about is actually the thing that gets them to multi-millions of dollars. Like, their gut is enough to grow a multi-million-dollar business. Now, like, they could run it better, they could grow it faster if they were good with the numbers, if they were good with like the execution things, but the limiting factor always is in the mirror.
Yep.
Like the people that are stuck in the few hundreds of thousands or stuck at 1 million or stuck, like when you get stuck, there's one thing. It's in the mirror.
Yep.
It always is. It's always leadership. It's always your ability to find the build the team around you that can help take the business to the next level. And people just get stuck and they don't want to look in the mirror. I had one gal, we've tried to help her forever. She's no longer a client for silly reasons that we both agreed that like time to part ways. She had said to me, because she was struggling with this process, and I was like, I mean, you could pay us to do it, but we're expensive. I don't think you should. I think you should do it. And she's like, well, I'm not going to learn it. And I was like, hire a VA. I'll never hire somebody overseas. And I was like, lady, your bookkeeper on our team is overseas. Like, adapt or die. What, you're going to hire somebody locally and pay them $60,000 to click a button?
Right.
What are you talking about? You're going to be miserable. You're like burying your head in the sand on your idea of how you got to run a business. You can't hire anybody overseas. You can't use a virtual assistant. Man, I have so many people in the Philippines that are just freaking amazing. They're humans.
Yes.
Like,
I would give her the benefit of the doubt if we were at 50% unemployment. Okay. Maybe then we can talk about that. But when everybody is working and we've been at, 94 to 96% unemployed of people working, 3.5 to 4% unemployment for like years after COVID. Yeah, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. The other thing that they tend to do is these people that have these, what you call those purgatories, Dan, are the ones that for whatever reason just focus on the problem so long. And you gave a great example. What my example is, we helped somebody hire, I want to say like 7 really good high producing people. Producing, so it's the maid service industry. So what is it, $70,000 or so, $80,000, maybe $100,000 nowadays that one tech is producing, working 35 hours a week on average, right? Times 7, that's a lot of production. That's a lot of revenue. All we heard about was the no-shows to interviews. That's all I heard about. And so Nikki finally said, Shawn, I am going to hang myself. I've done everything I can for her. What can you please get involved? Absolutely. So I go, how many no-shows did we have? And she said, there's been like 15 no-shows in the last 3 months or something. And you hired 7 people, right? I go, we better triple the amount of no-shows so that we can get to 21 hires, man. We need to triple the no-shows.
It's data. Yeah. Like, why are you worrying about the people that aren't worrying about you?
Right. I don't get it. But that's a problem. That's the purgatory problem too. It's look in the mirror and focus on the solution and let's go.
It is, it's frustrating when you're like trying to help somebody work their way through something and they just can't.
Yeah.
I'm sure you see it on the recruiting side. Is like, it's so obvious when you get to watch it from the outside, but we've all been in it, right?
Yeah.
We've all been in the purgatory. We've all been banging our head against the wall, and it's way harder when you're in it.
Yeah.
It just is, because everything's hitting you in the face this way, that way. You're just getting like stressed out. And with the gal I was talking about, like every time I interacted with her, she was miserable. She was stressed out, like she was on the verge of yelling at people. She either was about to yell at us for something that wasn't our fault, but like she was just looking for somebody to yell at, or she just got done yelling at an employee or yelling at whoever. Like she was just running hot. And I'm not like blaming her. She was just getting kicked in the face and kicked in the face and kicked in the face, but like kept walking right into it and like had the attitude of like, well, I can't do that. Well, I'm not going to do that. And everything was a rejection of an idea. And at some point you're like, all right, I guess I'm just going to keep letting you get kicked in the face, which I don't like. That feels pretty crappy for me to just let you do this. But I watch hundreds of businesses. I see what works. I see who's winning and who's not. And right now you're not. And I'm telling you what to do and you don't want to do it. So I don't know how many times I can tell you before I got to say, this ain't a good fit. And hopefully it's like with an employee, right? It's like you kind of hope they quit on their own and like realize they're not a good fit. It's kind of the same thing with a client. It's like, I don't want to fire you. I feel like an asshole when I'm like, and I'll fire people when they're total dipshits.
Right.
And it's like, no, you got to go.
Especially if they treat your employees bad.
If they treat an employee bad, they're out, right? Like, you don't talk to my people. You and I have had that conversation before. But like she wasn't treating our employees well, but she was getting very like snippy, right? And then our employees are getting snippy and they're just going at each other. And it was like, we got to stop this, right? This relationship is not healthy. You're not taking our advice anyway. Right. And that's really what we're here for. It's like, yeah, we're a bookkeeping company, but we're really a finance company helping you run your business. And if you don't take the data and make the decisions that we're saying, hey, here's where your problem is. And then I can come in and play CFO and I can say, here's the 3 things that I see that work that you need to do. And you say, I'm not doing any of those. I think we're good. I think this is a good time for us to call her quits. So those are frustrating. And I know you had said one thing earlier that I wanted to interrupt you because I was so excited about the thing. That's what you were saying, but I'm going to say it now because I've watched this happen to you multiple times, which is people will hire you. And then you're like, hey, here's how much we're going to need to boost to like try to get you what you need. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm already paying you. You want me to spend more money? And I'm like, what did you think was like, one of those, like, what did you think was going to happen? When you hire a Google Ads person and they say, how much do you want to spend on ads? Do you say, why would I spend money on ads? I hired you. Like, no, you hired them to get your ads right. So that when you spend the money with Google, that it works, right? It's the same thing. It's like you already said, sales, marketing, and recruiting are the same thing. So if you're going to go spend money on Indeed, wouldn't you want to hire somebody that knows how to spend the money so you don't need to spend 1,000, you can spend 200 and get better results and get everything else we've talked about? Like, what do you mean you already paid us? You paid us to run your ads and be the intermediary and take a ton of work off your plate and be your experts and be your full-time recruiting department. And if we want to get some clicks, we live in a world that you're well aware of. Like, you live in this world too. And you know that we need to spend money on ads to get clicks in this world. This is the one, the one we live in.
Right.
This the one you're living in, or are you on a different planet, or what are we talking about here? It's just so funny when people are like, what do you mean I got to spend money on ads?
Yeah. We got one like that right now that I they know that I've talked about this. One of the cool things is with the transcriptions now, with all the note-taking stuff out there, we use Gemini. It's in there, baby. I share it with you, and here's where we talked about it. It's like what happens too, Dan, is they on the employee side of it, these freaking poor guys, and it happens to us. It happened to us with in Minneapolis maid service stuff, man. You get burned.
Started.
Oh, I know. You get burned so many freaking times, man. And between no show and all that, Indeed doesn't work. Indeed gives me shitty this, so I don't want to boost it. It's because you didn't understand how to use it right. Not because you should. It's because you got 20,000 other things going on. How in the hell could you learn how to do it right? And Indeed changes more than the weather does. So you're certainly not going to keep up with the changes. It's that, that's the problem. And so you get people that get burned so many times. Indeed doesn't work. Well, you didn't have the right job ad. When your job ad sucks and you spend $1.50 a month to recruit, it ain't going to work. I don't care what the hell's going on. Let us do that for you. I mean, to spend, like you said, to spend $1,000 to not a month to find one good employee that goes and produces $100,000 or $200,000 of revenue.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
It's the best ROI there is.
It solves. I mean, it's what else is there? Why else would you not do that? But I get it, because you get burned so much, and because you never had somebody take care of it for you, and you don't understand. Indeed, we do. We understand all that stuff. We understand when it changes. We notify clients right away. We got to redo this job ad because we've noticed that keywords specifically in your labor market have changed, and the algorithm in Indeed has changed. We need to do something different. By the way, Facebook no longer does job ads a couple years ago. Did you know that? Okay, that's a problem. We do know that. You're trying to do something illegal right now that Facebook's not going to accept, and you're going to be banned from Facebook. We might want to tell you about that.
Here's a question I got for you, because when we were at Blue Skies doing this over 2 years ago, I was like way more involved in the recruiting business. We were working on it together. When you turned it into HireLeadChill and I invested in it, I've acted way more like an investor. By intent, I had to restart a brand new business and have been given Best Damn Bookkeeping tons of focus, and we get to meet, but I'm like way less in the day-to-day. So I don't see. I remember back in the day at Blue Skies, like there was a period of time where we're like, screw Indeed. We need to and I remember Libby at Woot Recruit said the same thing. Like, we need to take these guys down. They're awful. It seems like they've changed their tune. There was a period of time where like they were trying to put recruiting companies out of business. I think they did what Angie's List did, that almost put Angie's out of business, where they were like, we're going to own this relationship and we're going to cut out the middleman. And then they went, oh shit, we don't have the ability to cut them out. We actually super need them. They are the customer, not the end customer. It's the business that's the customer that pays our bills. Shit. Like, we effed that up. And I remember like you and I spent, we escalated up to the C-suite of Indeed at one point because they were like messing with our clients, and we were following the instructions of one of their employees that like misled us. It was so frustrating. And so like we looked at, and we did some stuff on Craigslist. We did stuff on Facebook. We did stuff on ZipRecruiter. We did stuff on Google for Jobs. We did like Snag a Job. That like all these different job boards were out there. And so like that we were trying to like cast wide nets. Again, I've been out of this for a while, so I haven't even like asked you about how this works anymore. It seems like Indeed is back to like being okay with recruiting companies posting jobs, and they've helped figure out ways to do it. I don't hear as much about Zip anymore. I feel like Zip used to be on the TV all the time and would be sending me postcards all the time. I don't hear as much about them. I don't know if they disappear. I thought Google bought them or something. I don't hear much about Google for Jobs. Like that was all the rage for a little bit. Like it was coming. And I remember Google searching, and I'd find jobs out there, and I was like, oh man, this would be sweet if we can run Google Jobs like we run Google ads for clients. I don't see that much anymore. Facebook kind of backed off of it. Like, did Indeed like send death threats to everybody to get everybody else to like back off, except for Craigslist, because they're so old school? Everybody's like, I guess you could just keep posting jobs on Craigslist. Like, what's the lay of the land in the job posting space these days? I'm like, I've been out of it for a couple of years. I haven't even talked to you about it in a couple of years.
Right. So ZipRecruiter went public, I think 2 or 3 years ago. So when they went public on the New York Stock Exchange, they completely changed. We were using them a little bit. They were working pretty good in certain parts of the country.
Okay.
Once they went public, it was like investors came in, equity was all over the place. High rollers were coming in that did not understand the business at all. They have no idea what they're doing. There was some merging going on and acquisition going on, Monster, and there's no more Monster. All that stuff changed. The landscape changed big time. When that happened,
Monster used to be big enough to run ads during the Super Bowl.
Huge.
I remember the one commercial about the chairs running around like they're on the Serengeti.
Yeah.
Chairs running around in the Sahara.
Yeah. All that's changed, man. So ZipRecruiter, I think once they went public, they lost focus on what they were trying to do and who their customer was. And they're banking on their algorithms, figuring everything out for you. Don't worry about your screening. Don't worry about what you do. Don't build a relationship. We'll just find the people for you and then call them and we'll send them to you. That never works out. Your business is different than my business. a window cleaning company in California's core values are different than ones in Tennessee. All that is important. They just tried to wrap a big old bow and said, this is what everybody needs, use it. And it didn't work out, and I never use it. Indeed, what they've done was what you've talked about for a number of years. Sooner or later, they're going to have to stop giving everybody free job ads. Because when they were doing that, they were getting pissed off at, okay, recruiters are bringing people in, all these free job stuff.
You know, they're taking advantage of the free job ads that we give to clients. And,
right.
And now we gotta screw them over was like their first inclination is we got to cut out recruiting agencies.
And that's exactly what happened. Instead of somehow building a relationship with them and doing it the right way, they just did it what they, do what they do. The other thing that they're better at is they rolled out some nonsense about the way that they were going to charge, where you could usually put a budget, per day budget, which is very budgetable for small businesses, turn it on and off whenever you wanted to. You can even put a deadline at one time and it would shut off. They went to this new thing, and I can barely remember what it was. It was all kinds of click per this, click per that, per application, per view. It was ridiculous. And they rolled that out, and it was big backlash. And so instead of listening to what clients
I remember like they all of a sudden, like it was nickel and dime all over the place.
Oh man. And we were warning people about that. And that's another good example of what we do for our clients. It's we'll see that shit coming. You don't have to worry about it. We'll juke and weave and figure it out for you. And you might not even know something's going on. I can't tell you how many times we have to change a job ad in a certain labor market. Indeed started doing a weird thing maybe a year ago or so, where in certain labor markets, this was a very high demand job, therefore no free ads for that job. How they determined it, they wouldn't tell you. So a cleaning technician is in very high demand in Utah right now, so no more free ads there, but it was okay in Cleveland, Ohio. But they wouldn't tell you why it was in high demand or how they determined that, right? So when that happens,
AI built them an algorithm, and they were like, I guess this is what we do now.
So we'll tell you something's going on here. There's no more free ads. You need to contact your Indeed rep right away. Or we have gone through this with 4 clients already. This is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. And so Indeed's gotten a lot different. They change all the time. The one thing that they're doing, I think, is horrible, is trying to keep everybody in their platform. So they're trying to keep you there with you use our screening, which sucks. And again, it's one size fits all.
Generic. It's not industry specific.
Not at all. And they don't get our industry. Nobody gets our industry but us. Let's face it. Nobody does, man. You might get the HVAC a little bit and stuff like that. And some of those guys, trades guys, construction, but they don't know nothing about the maid service, window cleaning, pressure washing, pest inspection, stuff like that. They just don't get it, man. And so I think they're making a big mistake trying to keep you into that platform instead of saying, we've got the biggest, baddest database of human beings on the planet. When they're looking for jobs, here's where we're at, man. You guys do what you want to do with it after that, as far as how you want to screen them and stuff. You guys take care of that.
Yep. Yeah. Do you still find, like, is Facebook doing anything? Can you recruit on Facebook at all besides just generic posting?
You can generic post and then boost it. What we did, and it's working really well for us and our clients, we put together a Facebook page, and it's geared towards content for job seekers, resume tips. You can get a blue collar job that pays $60,000 a year or more. Did you know, instead of cleaning toilets on New Year's Eve and imagining what is you're cleaning after a wedding at a hotel, you could be making more money cleaning houses that don't even look dirty and never do it on a weekend, at night, or on Christmas Day and major holidays. Okay. So that Facebook stuff, and we're posting all of our clients' jobs there. And so we're getting a lot of good stuff happening, a lot of good momentum with that for about a year now. That's working really well. And then we're just rolling out some stuff where we're going to be placing a bunch of shorts on and content on TikTok and others. And these are all free places. So we're just getting out there, man. The more you're on social media, the more content you have out there, the better it is.
It flips the game around. I know you've talked about this before, but like the candidate is where it's at.
Yep.
And Indeed knows that. That's why Indeed tries to keep you on their platform, right? And that's why all those platforms try to keep their data so secretive. But like, if you can help the candidate and say, hey, I've got the employers that you want to work for, then you're that much more valuable to the employer that hired you to find them some candidates. So I think it's like the obvious thing, but it's hard to do. Like there's millions of people out there. It's hard to get known. It's hard to like build the audience. It's a long game,
man. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, if you take a look at the umbrella of things that we're doing for clients, when you're talking about the chill follow-up after they qualify, but they don't set up an interview. So we just imagine if you're a client of HireLeadChill like Teresa McConnell, you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands of people in your neck of the woods, in your neighborhood that are potential job candidates one way or another eventually. And sooner or later, that is going to decrease your dependency on Indeed, Facebook, and other places and ZipRecruiters. So overall, the long-term strategy now for us is our clients are now spending less money boosting and sponsoring because of all of these other things that we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, it just always goes back to the finances of this thing. Nerdy bookkeeper in play here. But like when you do recruiting right, and again, like we've talked about earlier, like I'm willing to spend astronomical amounts of money that nobody else would consider spending to make sure I have the right employees, but everything is an ROI. I still want to do it cheaper and more efficiently and get the same result. And the ability to build a list and retarget. Like I pay HireLeadChill every month, and I want you to talk through your pricing structure that you're coming out with, so people that don't use you know what it's going to cost when they sign up. But I pay, I forget, $197 a month, whatever it is. That's like the base fee to keep the lights on, the ability to retarget, the ability to communicate with everybody. Like I pay for the CRM, if you will, except this is the candidate relationship management system. And then I said just the other day, I said, all right, Nikki, it's time to go. And she said, okay, here's the invoice for the month of like active client management. And my bill doubled or whatever it was. Still like it was $400 or $500 or whatever my monthly fee is. It's still such a no, like to run Google ads is $500 to $1,000 a month again. And like the employee is so much more valuable than the client. Again, it's just such a no brainer, but people are lethargic to spending money on recruiting sometimes. But man, if I pay you guys $500 this month and Nikki boosts 200, I bet I'm going to get at least my next 10 employees. And I'm not joking. Like I'm going to get 10 really good people. They might not all those 10 people that I identify, let's say I end up with 10 that are like A players that I really want to have come on my team. It might take 4 years before eventually I have them all on my team. Some it's not going to be the right time for. Someone I reach out in a year, it's not going to be the right time for, whatever. But like, it's going to be $2 million worth of annual revenue from $700 to spend this month.
Yep.
Do I need to get out my calculator quick and like run an ROI on that? But it's just crazy how worthwhile it is. And you've said this before about like it's the employees that keep you up at night. It's not the clients.
Yeah.
And staying up at night is one thing, and like worrying. If we do this right, that just doesn't exist.
Yep.
It's like, how much fun can I have today?
Yeah.
Right. Like when I'm running with a team of total A players, and this week I started, I think I had, well, again, I have like 20 some demos on the schedule in January right now. And when we started January, I don't know that I had any. I'm like, just today I saw 4 more land.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, people need help. And I don't have to sell them anything.
Yep.
I'm just going to tell them what we do. And they're going to be like, yep. And I'm going to be like, well, hold on. Like, just like my employees got to wait. Sometimes my clients got to wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure we can crush it for you. And so I'm going to like wait till we have the person ready with capacity to take on your stuff. And it might be a day or two or a week or two. It's our busy season. So I try to I like will waitlist clients this time of year to make sure we're not like shoving work at people and like delivering a shitty result. But it's crazy how like much there is. And it's like when you have a team of just awesome people behind you and you know all these clients are going to get really well taken care of, it just changes everything.
It does. I think part of the problem is it's so hard to put a dollar amount sometimes on that value. And I'll give you another example of how much the employee side affects revenue. If you've got shitty employees, what does that do to the mindset of the owner or the salesperson for the company that's getting customers they just sold? Their shitty employee goes out there. They get a call from the customer. Your sales guy isn't super pumped up because he has no confidence in what he's selling, because you've got a shitty team that's not executing and providing the level of service. Or, yep, we'll be there every Thursday, right? Every week on Thursday, if it's recurring. And they stop showing up to work and you've got to reschedule that person all the time. That's affecting your revenue. All those things with shitty employee affect your revenue side. So there's so much that's hard to see the dollar amount on. And the other part of it too is I got news for you. Revenue and demand is nothing more than opportunity. And I don't know about you, but I don't think you see a lot of opportunity deposited in the bank. Or we don't.
I don't actually accept that. I haven't seen a bank ever take percentages or IOUs or potential like
credits, opportunity.
Credit.
No,
yeah, it's just dollars. They just all my banks just take dollars.
Those opportunities don't fucking mean nothing until the employee goes out and executes. Then they turn into dollar bills for you. That's it, man. That's why the employee side is so important. The money and the stress, the margin. How easy is it for you to raise your prices when you have a good team compared to when you have a shitty team? I mean, the list is endless on how it affects your revenue and certainly stress.
Which I had a big time reflection of this after exiting our last business and like really had to reframe what's important to me. What am I trying to do here? And you don't make fun of me or give me a hard time. You acknowledge, this is my viewpoint. You acknowledge my work-life balance, as they say in the corporate world. I think it's really important for me, for me to be Dan, like the Dan that you guys all know. I won't say know and love because that's too strong of a word. Know and deal with, which is I'm going to drink some beers. Behind this green screen behind me is 3 turkey fans from this spring that Danny and I got together. Well, Crosby and I got one together. Danny and I got 2 together. Crosby was with me for one. And it's like, I am going to go hunting and fishing and work my ass off and play with my kids and do all 3 of them all at the same time as much as I humanly possibly can, because life is short and I want to like do it all and pack it all in, and I can't stop myself. And it's like, I can't do all of that if I don't build the best team in the world to make sure that our business can just do its thing. Like, it's a lot of work. Everybody on our team works really hard.
Yeah.
It's a ton of work. But we got to have fun doing it, man. Life is short. Yeah. We don't want grumps. You talked about core values earlier, and I was going to make the joke, which is this is true. And I don't mean to sound arrogant. We have the best core values in the world.
Yeah.
Because the acronym we use is BEST. So they are definitely the best. It's blessed, efficient, steadfast, trustworthy, best. For best damn bookkeeping, we have the best core values. And the number one thing is all about attitude, being blessed, being positive, being thankful. Like, life is too short to show up and be grumpy and grouchy and complaining and whining. Nobody wants to work with that.
Yep.
We want to work with people that are seeing the bright side, that are go-getting, that are investing, that are pushing, that are hiring. Like, that's fun. Let's go have some fun, man.
Dude, I've dug so deep into core values, and I've come to the conclusion, and you've heard me say this, but if one of ours is positive, blessed is right up in there, right? It's when you have somebody come in and bitching and moaning about their car, the politics, the wife, the kids, the whatever. I've come to the conclusion that is absolutely immoral. It's simply immoral to think you have the right to come to a place and fucking ruin everybody's day. How in the hell is that not immoral? You cannot, that's immoral. I don't want immoral people working for me, and you shouldn't either. It's that simple. I've dug into this so much, and I've listened to so much, and I've learned so much, and I've read and audio books so much on this, and AI'd on it, and everything else you can possibly do. And I am telling you, your core values, when an employee steps outside of them and they continue to do that, it is immoral. It's just immoral, man.
Send them. There's a door over there, and you're sending them out of it. I don't know that on this green screen behind me. I don't know that the door is over there or over there. That could be the bathroom over there.
You look like Angela. You look like Angela.
if that is the bathroom over there, and they are immoral, you send them over there and you give them a damn swirly. Is what
That's
you do.
right.
They are. You give them a noogie, and then a swirly, and then a wedgie to cap it off. And what's the atomic wedgie where you pull it all the way up over their head?
Dude, so you, like on the sales end, when you make a sale, they ring a bell sometimes. When you get fired, you hear the toilet flush.
That's right. That's right. Oh, swirly dumb. Which I never really understood with the swirly why you would flush the toilet. I would want their head in that toilet water. Yeah. Why would you like flush it?
Right.
Maybe it's just to give them a swirl in their hair. Then it spirals it for fun. I've never given anybody a swirly. I've never
been on the end of either of that. Yeah.
I did have an older brother with friends, and so there was a time where my head was over a toilet, and they were threatening a swirly because they thought it was funny because I was the younger bro, right? Never got my head inside there, but
you know my brothers, so you know I've had an atomic wedgie where it like I'm up to the ceiling with one hand, and they're going like this, and I fall through the underwear, man. You know that's true.
I believe that. I haven't heard that story before. This is the first time I've heard that one.
Yeah.
But I don't. There's no doubt in my mind that your bros could have pulled that one over on you.
Yeah, without a doubt. And not much I can do about it, man.
No. Was that a reaction? I know they kicked your ass after you stole your mom's car when you were 12. The wedgie must have come at a different incident, though.
That was just being playful.
Yeah. That was just that was just any other Saturday, man.
I might not have changed the channel or something when they asked me to change the channel. I don't know.
Yeah, atomic wedgie in store. Well, Shawn, we're a couple hours in. I mean, we could keep talking forever, but any we'll do it again, obviously. But I think the big thing is, you guys, now is the time, right? If you run a business, it is go time. It is recruiting time. If you don't have a system, call Shawn. If you don't have candidates, call Shawn. If you don't, I don't know what else you don't have, but if you don't have the employees that you need, call Shawn. You have to get this right. Your business deserves it. Your coworkers deserve it. Your employees deserve it. Your customers deserve it. Your family deserves it. Because if you have shitty employees, then you're shitty, and you take that out on your family. Everything in your life revolves around how good your team is. And if your team sucks, you suck. Change your team. Change your team so you don't suck. Get the best team in the world so that you're the best version of you, and you can be an awesome spouse, and you can be an awesome friend to your friends. You can be an awesome leader to your team. You just deserve it, you guys. You deserve it. We've all had shitty employees. No doubt. We've all had shitty employees. It sucks. It sucks. And if you are listening, you probably run your own business. And if you run your own business, it's you. You're the one. You can change it. There's nobody else. You are the person that can change everything. Tomorrow, you can change everything. Yep. So, don't wait. Go get the best team in the world. Now's the time, because it's not as expensive right now. As a finance guy, I value that. But, just go get the best team in the world. They're out there. Don't make excuses. Just go get them. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Peer pressure. I'll peer pressure you. Do it. Have fun.
That's it, baby. Have fun.
What do we miss, Shawn? Do we miss anything? How the hell does somebody get a hold of you? How do they book a demo with you? Let's throw your link on this thing so people can grab you.
Throw a link on, or I'll try to follow up and throw my link on there. I'm all over Facebook, though. You'll find me on Facebook. You can DM me. You can go to HireLeadChill.com, HireLeadChill.com. Click book demo on there. And my demo basically is just showing you everything that we've done with our own companies. When Dan and I were kind of managing about 100 employees, all of our clients. And at the end of it, I always tell people, if you want to steal things that I'm showing you and try it on your own, I'm all for that, man, and I'll support that. If you want to pay us a couple $100 to take it away from you and make your life really good, and get you some extra $100,000 or $200,000 this year, we'll do that too.
I dropped on the YouTubes, on the business Facebook page, and in my personal feed, at least I got your website. I also put your calendar link, which I just have from when I send it to people anyway. I threw that out on the YouTubes and the Facebook business page as well. So go book time with Shawn, you guys. Go learn. Go improve your life. It's time.
Yep. And one last thing, and then we'll wrap it up if you want, is I know that if you're a client of mine, my passion isn't owning 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 different businesses. My passion is recruiting. I only want to deal with recruiting. So you will have access to me pretty much anytime you want to reach out to me. I'll bump a demo off my calendar in order to talk to a client. I've talked to clients at midnight. I've talked to them on Sundays. I've talked to them on Thanksgiving.
We talked to one on a holiday. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Thanks.
That wild cowboy we talked to on Thanksgiving, I think it was at one time.
We almost had to fire his ass.
Yep.
That was us putting it online to say, like, if you ever talk to one of our employees like that again, like, I'm gonna come and kick your ass. Was that conversation? Yep. I'm still friends with that guy today. He and I have very pleasant conversations, because after that he was like, "Oh, these sons of bitches are real." And I was like, "Yeah, like I know where your office is, because we've done business together. I'm coming kick your ass, man." No, that, like, hilariously, he and I get along really well now. But like that was on, was it Thanksgiving?
It was the night before Thanksgiving.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely some holiday action going on.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, man. I think I was like 8 beers in too, because I was at my nephew's and family, and all the guys were over watching Tiger Woods and Nicklaus on that whatever the hell thing they were doing. Mm-hmm. They were like playing each other at night or some bullshit. So like we were all watching that. So I'm pounding some beers, and you give me a call, and I'm like, "The cowboy? What the fuck's he talking about? I got to talk to a cowboy?" Like, yeah, let's talk to a cowboy, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun here. We're gonna set the record straight. But I think that, like, to what you said, like, you'll do anything. Like, we got to help people get the right team. We see the impact of it, and I think they can't always see and aren't always sure that this is gonna, like, solve the problems, right? But we know AI isn't gonna solve the problems. It's just a tool. Right. It's a tool that we use to create efficiency. It ain't going to run your business. Humans run your business. Humans execute your business. Maybe someday when it's all robots running your business, I don't even know what the hell we're all going to do then, but like, we'll figure it out. Like, right now you are still in the people business. AI is a tool, but it can't build relationships the way you need to build relationships, the way you need to lead your team. And part of that comes with having the right team in the first place. It's really hard to lead a shitty team. You can be the best leader in the world, but if you suck at recruiting and surround yourself with idiots, really hard to make leadership be the game changer. And I see it all the time. Like, leadership is the game changer, but only if you surround yourself with good people that can follow a good leader. You need both. Yep. Let me finish with this. I don't think Shawn has ever done this, but I think this has to be a thing that he does. And you guys can all weigh in on this. Just throw it in the comments. I think Shawn needs to send a mirror to every new client or existing client as like a gift to say, like, "Hey, we've already solved all your recruiting problems. Here's the thing. You just look at it and it'll tell you where all your recruiting problems are starting and ending. And it's just a mirror." So you get to see yourself and be like, "Oh yeah, it's me. Like, I am the leader. I'm the one that chooses who works here. I'm the one that builds the systems processes. I'm the one who chooses who I delegate stuff to, like HireLeadChill or Best Damn Bookkeeping or whoever I use." Everything is in that mirror. It's the perfect answer. Yep. That mirror has all the answers to all your problems.
Always.
It's a good one.
Agreed.
It's a magic bullet. Silver bullet, man.
It is. I should. At CleanCon in March, I should have a bunch of mirrors and just start going like this.
You can get like plasticky ones too, so they're not like breakable, because that's the challenge of like mailing out. But I bet you can get some like roll up plastic mirrors.
I'll have to look into that. Even a little handheld, like, one has to be cheap, but get the point. Yeah, it costs pretty good.
Yeah, I need to get Holly and Molly and Drew on the show here. before we get to Clean Con.
I told them you and I are going to do a special one together and have all three of them on at the same time. So they're gonna get something together as far as times and stuff like that, and we'll just get a massive bunch of people watching it and getting on and just going after it, man.
It'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
That'll be fun.
All right, it's like 11:30 for you. You should probably go to bed. I'm probably gonna have one more beer and then I'm gonna go to bed. I got to get up at 5 to lift some weights. I've been lifting. I skipped this morning. Last night got late, but like 3-4 days, mornings a week, I'm hitting the bench downstairs and doing the biceps. I'm building the beach muscles. I still do like cardio in the middle of the day, but I definitely found that cardio with my diet isn't enough. And it is funny, like when you lift weights, that muscle chews up your fat.
Big time.
Way more than cardio does. Ridiculously more. Like I enjoy cardio more. Like I enjoy moving and sweating. This is just me. You may have noticed when we were in Vegas and walked like 20 miles in 10 minutes, like one time, just back, like I'm running around with double fisting beers and walking full speed,
smoking cigars. I'm trying to enjoy. Yeah, I'll enjoy a nice cigar outside, Dan. Next thing I know, I'm freaking walking 10,000 miles, man.
I got calf cramps, dude. Let's get moving. Let's go see some shit.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I've been getting back into the weightlifting. Maybe possibly peer pressured by JC.
Oh, I bet.
Possibly peer pressured. Possibly peer pressured.
That's all right, though. That's a good thing.
But it's been years since I've like lifted. And actually, this is it. Not peer pressured by JC, because I'm a total contrarian and I don't like when people post and like, this is me. And I like, not to give JC a hard time, but he always posts like, check out me in the weight room. And I'm just like, ugh, it's exhausting. Like, I just don't like those types of posts. Right. But like, kudos to him. He looks great, right? Like, she's doing great. Marty works out every morning and she's freaking jacked.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, that's embarrassing. My wife can damn near kick my ass, right? Like I better like start getting up and lifting weights with her before like she's gonna be the breadwinner in the household and the man of the house. I'm not gonna have much utility around here anymore if I don't start moving some weights around and getting in shape. So
there you go. That'll motivate you. Motivate you.
Like I don't need my wife to be tougher than I am. I gotta get my ass going, you know?
Right.
So I'm
good for you, man.
Moving some weights around and fueling it with carbs.
Nice.
Brought to you by Best Damn Bookkeeping.
So real quick with CleanCon, it timed up really good because Kara, my daughter, wanted to go to some show or concert or something, and she's like, Dad, I want you to go with me. I'm like, all right. I think it's a comedy show or something. Anyway, so I'm like, when is it? And she's like, well, it's in Pittsburgh and here. So CleanCon's like Monday through Wednesday or something like that, I think, or Thursday it ends, maybe something like that.
Something like that.
So, and it's close enough where I'm driving, so that's cool. It's only like 4-hour drive.
Indianapolis, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely driving there. And the cool thing is, my daughter, the concert or whatever, I got tickets for us, is in Indianapolis 2 days after CleanCon. And Kara only goes to school about 45 minutes or 50 minutes away.
She's down there.
One more thing, her spring break starts that weekend, so I can drive her home too.
Damn, man. And then boom. And then you get to drive her so she doesn't wreck another vehicle of yours.
Yeah, everything was going really good with that until you had to bring that up.
I mean, like it's all falling into place. You can make sure your vehicle doesn't get wrecked. You get to spend awesome time with your daughter, go see a show, hit the conference.
Yep.
It doesn't line up much better than that.
Absolutely, man.
Hell yeah.
Get pumped up for CleanCon. Where are you at? You headed to something in Vegas here soon?
I got Commercial Pressure Washing Contractors Live with Robert Eisenstadt in Vegas coming up. I got Light It Up Expo. Down in Orlando with Ryan Lee, got the CleanCon, and I gotta talk to Jimmy Tompkins, Lights for Decorators. He does a lot of different like smaller events, and any of them that I can make it to. Like Jimmy is probably like I know him through like industry stuff, and I've hung out with him for a little bit. It blows my mind how generous that guy is. Like, I think I'm generous in giving with my time and with my money, and I always try to be. And then I watch him, and I'm just like, this guy either has so much money that he just doesn't care about losing it, or he's really like in the long term invested in what he's doing and in his people, but he's not like cynical about it.
Yeah,
it like speaks to me. The dude just has a shitload of fun.
Yeah.
Like, and he makes sure everybody around him is having fun too. And so I'm like super excited to do some events with Jimmy and like support what he's doing, similar to Ryan Lee, right? Like,
right.
Ryan is generally just positive, upbeat, working his ass off, helping whoever needs help, holding people accountable too. Like, he doesn't let people off the hook, but like, just always the right guy. And you never see a different version of him. Kurt Kempton, same thing. Michael Gregory, same thing. There's just some people. Drew Larison, who's running CleanCon.
Yeah.
Holly and Molly too. It's like you just don't see. I mean, we all have our good days and bad days, and I think that's a testament to like the leaders that they are. Is like a leader knows when they're having a bad day, and can make sure they don't take it out on everybody else.
Yeah, there's a big thing with leadership and self-awareness, man. Big time.
Big time. And it's hard to do. Like I feel that amongst my team of like, and I've told them that like, I know I'm all fun and games and like goofy Dan. I have bad days too.
Yeah.
I need you to know I have bad days, and I need you to call me out if I have a bad day, and you can tell, because it's my job. Not that I don't want to express my emotions. I'll talk to you about them, but it's my job to exhibit our core values.
Yeah, you know the story when I stepped outside of it with the Indeed stuff, man, and I called my team after too long of bitching and moaning and griping. I called a team meeting. I said, whatever you're doing at noon, drop it. I don't care what it is. I need to meet with you guys. And I took nearly 40 minutes of apologizing to them about stepping outside of our core values. And I told them, if it ever happens again, you need to call me out on it. Like immediately. Don't ever let that happen that long again. I can't tell you how sorry I couldn't apologize anymore or any longer. And that's what needed to happen though. I mean, I wasn't self-aware at that time in that crisis to do that until one day it just hit me. And it was like looking in the mirror, man. Like
you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I fucked up.
Yep. And I made it right. And I don't think I've done that since. And that's been a couple of years ago, number of years ago.
Leadership is tricky.
Yep,
leadership is authentic. It's got to be. Can't fake it. Can't fake that.
You bet.
All right, Shawn, it's time to go to bed.
All right, man.
Thanks for. I mean, you knew it was going to be a 2+ hour episode. Like there was no. It wasn't. Even in the past, you and I have been like, let's try to get this done in like 45 minutes. At 2 hours and 30 minutes, we're like, we should probably wrap this thing up. Like it's inevitable that we're just going to keep sharing stories. But I think that's what makes it great. We're having fun. We're helping people. We're telling stories. Businessman. How we do it.
You bet. Good to be on, man. Dude,
go help a bunch of people. There's a lot of people that need help. Yep. You go help them. And then you send them my way and I'll like organize their financial data after you help them grow their business a ton.
Let's do it up, brother.
1-2 punch. 1-2 punch.
Damn.
All right. Business nerds, you guys all know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn yourself some pride. We'll see you at Commercial Pressure Washing Contractors Live if you're into that. We'll see you at Light It Up Expo if you're into that. We'll see you at CleanCon if you're into that. If I didn't name a conference that you think I should be at, let Shawn and I know so we can see you there. We'll make the rounds. We'll come and hang out with you, and I'll buy you a Busch Light. Nice. All right. Peace out, y'all.